fast to speak. Sorry for stealing your coffee.
No, that's fine, man. Just fucking walk into my house and start taking whatever cups you want the next time as well.
Come and steal your coffee. Steven takes a dump. It's just like, what horrible house guest you have.
There was no dump edge. I never
Number one only.
So we're
So polite.
Are we live? Well, we're not live. We're not streaming today, but we are recording. So thank you guys for coming on. I'm joined by Stephen Gray and Jon Mcelroy or Mcelroy, depending how you want to say Mcelroy.
Yeah. I think I said last time, like my dad, if he gets, because he's John as well, so if he gets, hi, can I speak to Jon Mcelroy? He just hangs up the phone.
McElroy.
Yeah, he hates that. Like, I'm not arsed.
Yeah.
Call me whatever.
Who's McElroy?
Is there not a famous
Is it McElroy?
golfer?
Well, he's Rory McIlroy, I guess, but
That's it.
you could do McIlroy. But I don't
There's no difference in spelling or that, right?
know. What's your, are you GRE?
People have asked me in the gym about John, what's his second name? I'm like, McElroy.
Mac. So you play it safe, just go for Mac.
It's one of the
Johnny
easiest ones to search every time I try and confirm your second name in my head, because obviously it's Jon.
Yeah.
So you're like Jon
Yeah.
Jones, which leads us on to... Nah, I'm joking.
Straight in with the JJ chat. He's
been
something else.
An absolute crazy week in the MMA world. I mean, I don't know how much you keep up with it because you're very much involved in the jiu-jitsu world. But
I popped back in for the big stuff.
right,
I'm not got like I used to be big into MMA. I used to like back maybe years ago when you could almost like you knew the whole roster.
Yeah.
Nowadays I have no idea really. It's good though because like I come back in for like the bigger cards. I really like what was the last big one I watched? What was the last big one?
was it UFC?
I guess the
230?
McGregor one was really big. But yeah. 231.
So McGregor and
232
Khabib.
tonight.
I didn't even watch that. I just watched it on repeat. I've got UFC Fight Pass though.
Right.
So do you know if you get a live events on that?
Yeah.
I don't think you get the pay-per-views, but you get pretty
you
much
don't get
everything
pay-per-views?
else. Well, you do like on... You're not live. You'll get the
you don't
pay-per-views
get the
maybe like a
live.
week later, but
Cool.
the pay-per-views you don't get.
I
That's
was
the
gonna
only
watch
thing
it
you
as
don't
well.
This is one of the banes of my life is to actually
You're not gonna Fight
watch
Pass?
something like legally after a UFC has happened. It's just completely...
You're like Jon Jones. You want to be a clean athlete.
Of course.
You want to be doing the right thing.
I'm as clean as I want to come, but yeah, like it's so hard to watch,
Especially in the
UFC.
UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next day.
But I feel sorry for the guys in the States, man. Like, pay-per-views, what, $60 maybe? You're paying $60 once or twice a month, and a lot of them can be shit.
Aye, but you could get like 4 years and just all chip in. And then it's also the luxury of being in the States is you can watch it at like 7 and then go to your bed at a normal time.
Yeah, that's
Did
true.
they not have technology against that though? Like to sort of... Are you talking
I'm
about...
talking about getting full ground. to your
everyone...
house.
Oh yeah,
Aye,
that is a good idea.
It's getting the 4 friends is the hard part.
Well,
Yeah.
I struggle with just even one. Like I started this podcast so people would talk to me.
It's working, man.
Doing good. How many episodes now?
Oh, the cool 75
Nice.
times 2 sometimes. So that is like at least 140 people that have,
Yeah.
that like me now,
Yeah.
or somewhat.
Triple digits. You're doing good, mate.
It's the same people over and
Oh,
over
right,
again.
okay.
It was like Laura.
Did you do that when you started out? Like, because I did that, like, you would ask friends, I'll ask, because who are you going to ask? You don't.
Yeah.
Just, hey, mate, you want to do my show?
Yeah, like I was kind of lucky in that I've done several things throughout my life. So I had people in different specialities throughout life that I could bring on and have different conversations with. But obviously the MMA was going to be the big one.
Right.
And then it got to a point where I was like, I can't just keep asking the same people on. And for me to make the podcast work, I have to just bite the bullet and ask loads of different people to come on.
It's awesome, though.
And then guests end up asking for other guests to come on, which is crazy.
People must be generally happy to come on though.
I don't know. Like people are so weird about it. Like I don't know. It just feels like you're sort of causing a ruckus in their life, you know. And
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like it's very, and not even the people you would think. Not people who have somewhat a bit of fame. Like I had done Yelly Blelly on. He was extremely like nice and wanted to come on.
Who's Yelly Billy?
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's an historian. Like he has his own podcast called, what was it called? History on Fire. And he's been on Joe a few times, and I had him on via Skype, obviously. And he was just like the nicest guy I could ever speak to.
Yeah.
And then you get people who I don't know, not even like I wouldn't even say like lower tier celebrities, just people who have no celebrity in their life. I'm not going to name and shame.
John McElroy.
Yeah.
Some of the worst people I've spoke to, just nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny, man. Like I've had a couple of like UFC guys. All of them have been nice. I can't think of one that's not. But sometimes it just feels like, I guess I'm going to name and shame. Like when I had John Fitch on, I only had him for like 20 minutes, and I really wanted to do longer, but it was just on to talk about an upcoming fight. Whereas I wanted to there was a documentary about him that I'd seen. I wanted to get a wee bit involved in that. A couple of people obviously messaged, different questions and things. But I guess if people are on a schedule and they've got like so many other interviews they're going to do, then
so he was like diverting the conversation.
I was just short on time. He's like, I can give you 20 minutes, so I guess we're on to talk about kind of what he wanted. And
I mean, you have quite a staple of people that you have on your MMA podcast, which is the MMA
the Roundtable, man,
which is amazing. But how do you go around it? Like I know how I've formulated to try and get people on that are a bit more famous on like how I interact with them initially. But how do you go about just saying
ask? I guess it just pester people.
Get on the podcast.
Fitchy, come on my pod.
I don't know. Like
I don't
if you
think
fish enough, you're going to catch something. It's just I've asked so many people of different walks of life, and the ones that said yes, and if they want to come on, they come on. There's I mean, on the roundtable itself, there's people that are in, like they're journalists, some are podcasters, some are ex whatever.
That's a weird one.
Whatever.
Says it right here on my CV.
Who's the most famous you've asked to be on the podcast?
Most famous. The John Fitch one comes to mind, I guess. Eric Paulson was a big one.
That was a big one, yeah. Because he's like a lot of old school MMA guys love like Eric Paulson. I know the whole guys I grew up with, training in Dundee. They absolutely like that's the reason why they started a lot of the stuff is because of his old fights and just
he's probably an inspiration for not just grapplers but like martial artists, I guess, in general.
And spiritualist, maybe.
Well, he is. He's into all that. Like, he's into the chi. He blesses the mat and all this kind of... Was I telling you this? He was like reading my obituary and all this. Like we're talking meaning of life stuff. And
really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on to talk about, so how do you defend in head and arm? You know, like that kind of shit. And he's giving all...
Pray to Jesus.
So what's important to you, John? I don't know. He doesn't sound like that at all. I don't know why I did that voice.
Is he Intaken by any chance?
Is he what?
Intaken. What's important, John? I'll tell you what I don't have.
Yeah, he's got that half American Irish accent. Liam Neeson, I'm on now. He's done that in every film, hasn't he? Really? He plays Liam Neeson.
Well, it's the same with what's his name? Sean Connery. Like always just plays himself in a movie. Like Russian sub commander.
Junior,
hi there. I do not have my tennis racket.
She's in trouble. Starring me again. Yes, Sean Connery. Yeah, but I guess when you reach a certain level, you can you're getting asked, aren't you, to do that? You're that kind of A-list or whatever. You can just afford to play yourself.
The ones I'm sort of struggling to get on is like my interest goes way beyond just MMA. There's like things in science I love, and I'm always asking people that are on the precipice of a lot of great stuff in Scotland, like scientists and people that work in Edinburgh for the university. And every time I message them, I can't get any answer. It's so hard. I think it's tough in that industry. Like there's not a lot of people that are vocal in the scientific community, especially in Scotland. It's very just, they let their work talk.
Right.
And they don't want to go on shows and talk about it, which would be great because that lets people actually understand what they're talking about. It's not just reading a bunch of fucking pamphlets on it or whatever. Yeah. If you're actually speaking to someone and they're able to dissect it and break it down for people. But it's like, there's no one wants to do it.
It's a shame. It would be nice to be able to get people around as well because, like, as a listener of podcasts, I'm not a big fan of being on the phone and things like that.
Yeah,
prefer it when they're in the same room.
I hated the Skype ones. I enjoyed it eventually, but there's just something weird about it. It's like I can't really get into the conversation. You're talking to a screen.
Like,
it must be different. It must be different.
Do you mean that if listening to ones that have had people on
even just listening to when I don't know, like I've listened to some grappling ones because they often get them on the phone because they're not flying people out to wherever, but
What's the main ones you listen to then? Like Eddie Bravo's? Has he still got his?
Nah, I don't listen to Eddie Bravo. I listened to Sword and Scale, the crime one.
Okay.
I listened to Last Podcast on the Left, which is like a crime.
That is one I've heard about. That one.
Funny.
A lot of people
Really
talk
good.
about it.
Really good. I listened to the Perth local one, the
Okay.
Monkey Sword fight. I go back and forward, man. I listened to Joe Rogan very early days,
Nah, I'm the
but
same.
it's changed
Yeah.
so much, man. I cannot listen to it anymore. Like the guest,
The new ones?
like I feel like Joe, like I love his podcast when he's got like sometimes he just smashes it. He gets like Darren Brown on,
Yeah.
and Darren Brown just gets to talk, and you're not watching it because I'm not watching it for Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even though I do agree with some of the stuff Joe, I like Joe. Like, it's not like I don't like the guy,
No.
but it's like I can't listen to just him talk, especially when he brings these guys that are meant to be comedians on. And
I feel like that's when I do like filler. I just bring on someone that I know, or it'll be like Laura will be on for the billionth time, and it's just because like I can just get her on and talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I
But you're
feel
comfortable then, you can riff and whatever.
I feel
So,
that's
you
what
know,
Joe does with the comedians.
but he's doing like 2 a day
Mm.
sometimes, and he gets like the guys like Shapiro and.
I've definitely seen a change in his podcasts. I mean, for all I hated Brian Redband being on his earlier
so
episodes,
annoying.
it felt like it was more fun. You know, those even though he was like a sort of like a complete child, but that era of the Joe Rogan experience was more sort of fun and sort of it wasn't about just. I definitely feel like Joe's phoning it in slightly. I think.
You liked it when Brian was on the podcast?
Yeah, not because of Brian, but because of what it stood for in terms of what Joe was trying to do with the show.
I know what you mean.
You know, it just felt more
Days of the Fleshlight and all
personable.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And like even just that, like the 5 years after the first episode,
Those are amazing shows, man.
they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
old
listen to
ones.
those now. There's an old one, I mean, maybe like 20 or 30 in, and it's Joe's birthday, and it's Joey Diaz, Eddie Bravo, and then Brian Redband. And they've got the grainy webcams, you know, split like the four
yeah.
ways or whatever. Probably not even as good as quality like that. But I mean, they were just like playing music
Yeah.
and just
Getting
shooting the shit.
baked.
And
Yeah.
it was great to listen to.
Yeah.
Really easy listening. And there's no agenda with
No.
it. It feels like there's a wee bit more of an agenda. he's pushing
Sometimes
now.
I feel like he can be really like
Preachy.
aggressive with people as well.
Of course.
That really just puts me off. When I know that somebody's capable of just like being a dick.
Yeah,
To like, there was one recently where he had Nick Swardson on,
yeah.
and he treated him like shit.
I've heard him
Who's
do
Nick?
that a few
Yeah,
times.
and that's like, why are you getting this guy on? I don't really get. Nick
who was
Swardson's
that?
a comedian. He's
Right.
like
There was-
Adam Sandler type dude.
Okay. There was one he had on, and it was a scientist. I think it was the evolutionary scientist, and that section of science all kind of refutes the stuff. You know, you ever heard the book? What is it? Sex at Dawn.
No.
It's basically
I think
talking.
I've heard him talking about it.
Yeah, like there's the guy that came up with it. I can't quite remember his name, but he wrote this book basically saying that the science points towards that males are not they're not meant to be in relationships. You know, we're supposed to be just going around like having sex, and people saw this book as a sort of like an excuse just to not be, you know, faithful to whoever. But it was not what it was saying. It was just saying like in our DNA, this is what we do. Like relationships are constructs, and they're societal constructs, but they're ones that we should follow because that's as a society we've all decided these are the rules. You know, that's the same with any relationship. You know, if people say that, well, I'm not happy with this, then that's just how it is. But this other science guy was just refuting it and was like, no, this is nonsense. And then Joe got really aggressive with him on it because he was just like poo-pooing it, and it was Joe's friend that had wrote the book, and it was just like you say, like he gets so aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess if you are friends with a guy and they've published a book and you're into it, you're probably not able to help, you know, feeling or reacting the way.
Of course.
You do.
Yeah.
But the sounds of it, he's went really like overboard. I
It's just
guess.
not entertainment to me.
No.
You know, I mean, I'm like thousands of miles away from them, and I'm cringing in my bed. in Perth.
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's not entertainment to you, man. I
It's
want to
putting you
laugh.
off big
You know what I
time.
mean? Like the old days. Brian Redband days.
John's having a wank.
Big time. Yeah. 2 hands on that bad. Anyway.
I
So
feel
do you like truffles? I brought you truffles.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time anyone's
Just trying
ever.
to get rid of some chocolate in the house a bit too much.
I think that's when you know you're an adult, when someone brings you truffles. I don't know who's the adult in that situation, but I definitely feel that's what it is.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good Christmas?
It's not, but not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. We were. I'm still waiting on the wife, as is she, baby to drop. We've got a due date of the 3rd of January.
Wow.
So I've got my phone. I know it's rude to have your phone out in a podcast.
No, that's fine.
That's my excuse, sir.
Yeah.
So,
I have mine out all the time.
there you go.
I'm just going to put mine on silent.
Yeah, just
Not that I've got any friends.
slam it
that
down on the
follow me.
table and let us know what's there. But yeah, she's
Wow.
ready to go. So we've got a baby number 2 on the way. Anytime now, I guess.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Because that's the time of life now for me. I don't know how old you are, Stephen. I think you're a couple
29.
of years. 29, yeah. I'm 32 at this point, and it's that time in your life when everyone's having kids, like.
Yeah.
Does it feel like that?
And I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still like, I don't know, I'm like 5 years, but then every year it's like 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, we're just gonna play it by ear, I think.
I think
That's got to be the way, isn't it? You can't.
especially in Scotland, I think we're all just a bit like, there's no right time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in Scotland, everyone's like, well, the economy's not good, or wait till after Brexit and all that.
Yeah.
You know, there's always reasons. And then eventually, I think a lot of people that I know in Scotland have been like, well, I don't want to bring a kid into this sort of climate either. Not literally, but just.
That's some serious thought. I'm just like, kind of like,
Nope.
me, like, as long as the relationship's good and we've got some money, I'll do it. Like, I really want to have kids, but yeah, I wouldn't really take too much of the society into account.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't
Yeah.
think you can overthink things like that. Although it is obviously very serious and you bring a life into it. I don't know what you're saying, but like, yeah, it's like what you're saying, man. If you've got things aligned and it seems all right, and if it feels right, I was going to say fuck it. That's the wrong
That's
choice.
how you
of words.
got into that
Well, there you
position
go.
as well.
Maybe it is the right choice. But yeah, man, if it's right in your life and you're happy with the person that you're with, then just go with it, man. I guess
It's a scary thought, though, to just
can be. Yeah,
have like another thing growing inside your
Mm-hmm.
your wife. Like, ooh, there's something.
Send your wife.
Yeah.
It's like this could either turn out like Alien the movie, or we're having a baby.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that.
That's how I put it.
Well, when my boy Toby was born, it was in the bath. She did the water birth thing.
It's quite common, that, isn't it?
Well, I thought so. I mean, Katrina had all these like One Born, like all those programs, and it seemed like every 2 minutes they're like, "Oh, we'll get you in the bath, we'll get you." And then when we asked for it, they're like, "Oh, you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah," thinking it was all the rage or whatever. And then we went in like, this room hasn't been opened in ages. Like this is in Glasgow Royal. They're like, we rarely do these. And I thought it was just like, that's what it felt like, man. Yeah, when they had to turn the lights on and it was like, is it going to be dust everywhere? Like, what the hell?
It's like a chalk outline on the floor of someone that died.
We're not sure if this bath works.
in the bath.
Brown water's coming out.
Are you sure?
This is where we grow the penicillin.
So odd. It's so weird. But yeah, I thought it was going to be like a queue lining up. You'd had to book it in advance, but apparently not. I didn't think it was just. I thought it was really common. I thought it was all the rage, but I don't know. Maybe it's a Glasgow thing. Like,
Yeah.
baths are no for babies.
I think that's probably the most it is the worst thing I've ever watched on Christmas Day was that one Born Every Minute.
It's pretty mad,
It's pretty horrendous. Like, you're just tucking down to your turkey. You turn around and some woman's bent over a fucking or in a bath and just like giving birth.
Yeah, it's the strangest sight. Like,
Yeah.
it's the strangest sight. And I can't believe there's people that don't get like the epidural and shit. Like, I can't imagine like
She didn't.
She didn't.
No. The thing was, Stephen, she went in the bath. She was like halfway there. She went in the bath. God, I was like, oh, this is lovely. She fell asleep, and as did, well, was then to be Toby, the baby inside her. So the two of them got too relaxed. So they had to take her out of the bath to kind of like get things moving again.
Right.
But the idea is, and I don't know if it's like a placebo effect, but when you're that relaxed in a bath, it's not a pain relief, but well, not a complete relief, just like a somewhat reduces the pain. And then it was just gas and air.
And it's going to take the strain off you as well. Because if it kind of is like...
Because there's a bit of weightlessness there. Yeah. And I had double unders holding it. Just making sure.
Did you ever in a rear naked choke the whole time?
I was tempted. But yeah, it's bizarre.
So,
Bizarre
what's everyone's thoughts on this week then? With Jon Jones like getting a
do you
whole
start
fight
this?
card
I'm still a bit
moved.
like, all right, so they've found a little bit in his blood, like a very, very little bit.
An Instagram or something, a pictogram or something
A
like that.
pictogram, yeah. Yeah, a cheap
Pikachu.
rip-off of Instagram.
It's his own pictogram company that he started.
But yeah, like I'm still like, has it gone up?
sure
Has
it's
it gone
fucked.
down?
It's because of the cup, sorry.
And I'm getting told that like he's the recent discovery was actually higher than the one he was banned for. And then I'm like, well, why is it not being cancelled? I'm not tuned in enough to know exactly what's going on, but like Jon Jones, man, I want that boy to be back. I've wanted him back for so long, but he just keeps fucking up.
I know.
He keeps fucking
He likes the party, man. But the thing that we were saying was the trace amounts are from whatever such a date. But I'm sure they did a test then, and there was no amounts of this picogram or whatever.
Someone was saying that Jeff Nowitzki, the guy that's in charge of all the drug testing, he was saying that he tested for the nanoparticles leading up to the test that they came out with.
Right.
So, like, I think 3 or 4 times they said they found the particulate in his.
How do they know it's the same one though? That's what I mean.
Well, they don't ask it like, "Hey,
You know, but like, so
nice to meet you." No,
could you show us the supplies?
well, that's the thing. Like, no one knows if it is from ingesting something again. Like, Dana White is saying it's not from them ingesting something else. It's from trace amounts from when he tested the first time. But if you know anything to do with steroids, like this, like the half-life of that stuff it's not like that. It doesn't. You don't continue to have that system in your system for 2 years.
No, and nobody else is getting this drama.
Well, what's his name did? What's his name? Frank Mir.
So was that pictograms like?
Exact same thing happened to him, and I think it was even less than Jones.
Oh, really?
And he got 2 years.
Oh, he got 2 years?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the thing. So he gets so everyone else gets the standard punishment or whatever, but Jones, well, because he's Jones, I guess. Yes.
But can it be that? I don't want to believe that's why they're fucking putting a whole fight card over LA, but that's the reason.
When have they ever bent over backwards? Yeah, you're right. That is the reason.
They covered Lance's cheating up for years because they were making so much money off it. So everybody was making money off that. So
and Lance.
I wouldn't put it past them.
No, totally.
Would not put it past them.
Brendan Schaub's been pretty vocal about it this week. Have you seen it?
No,
he's going crazy.
He's vocal about everything.
What's he saying?
He's just he's going off on one. He's pretty much calling for everyone to boycott the UFC.
It is not right though. If it is the way that you're explaining it, that's not right. If somebody's getting 2 years for it and they're just moving it. Did they move it because one commission would allow it and one commission wouldn't?
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's so they moved it to California for that because they were like, "Oh, we're okay with it."
Well, they're saying that the commission was on holiday because it was Christmas. So they couldn't organise the body to come from wherever they were in the world to then analyse the stuff and say it's okay. Mm-hmm. But if they have already said it's okay, supposedly, so why would they have to get everyone together to say, "Oh, this is okay"?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know what? Doping scandals are one of my favourite things about sport. Like I like.
Have you watched Icarus? Is that the one? Yeah, that's brilliant.
I still not seen it.
I love all the kind of, I was never big into cycling, but I got huge into the doping scandal. It's like one of the best dramas of sport, and it's interesting on like a scientific level. Being somebody that kind of trains a sport, even though I'm not like an athlete, it's interesting to me in that sense to see what it can do to your body. And this one with Jon Jones is so boring and so complicated. I'm like, no, it's not fun. Like, you not have loads of it, and I'm like,
stop ruining your fucking own career.
Yeah.
Well, is it true that with the Lance Armstrong thing, it wasn't just him, it was like the next 10 guys or whatever?
I think it was even 24, they said.
It was a lot.
They said,
it was more than that?
They said for them to hand the Tour de France, I don't know what they get, like a fucking...
Yellow jacket?
A thumbs up or something.
They get shit with the money, I think.
They get MySpace like or something.
MySpace.
Tom
some
from
beats for their spokes on their bike. A can of Coke to put in the bag, make it sound like a morbid.
Tom actually turns up and takes a picture with them. Tom from MySpace. What was I talking about there? I lost my train of thought.
All the guys are just...
Oh yeah, so they said for anyone that wasn't implicated in a scandal, they would have to go back 24 places, and that would be handed to the person that would have won legally.
Yeah.
So how many people are in this race?
There's
loads.
Hundreds.
There's
hundreds.
It's one of the most complicated sports ever. For something as simple as just getting on your bike and going somewhere, it's not. It's like completely just...
It baffles me that people could even do it natural. Because it is, these guys are cycling up French hills that are
and forever,
unbelievably steep for so long, man. There's a little hill going up to the gym, right? If I don't change those gears, right, I'm getting fucking stuck on that hill. And it's a short hill. It's maybe 10 meters long. These boys are powering up mountains. That's what I find fascinating about it. Like what drugs can make you do. If you see Lance attacking on the hills, it's something else. Like to see a man do that.
I can't remember who said this, but they were saying something along the lines it's almost healthier for these guys to be on something than to do the Tour de France naturally, because it would just destroy you. Maybe you should be doing it then.
They used to use alcohol in that when it first came out.
Yeah, like it was a known thing for like French athletes to wine up as part of recovery or something, right?
I think they would stop like on their stages and go for a wine and chill out. Smoke a big bifter. A big French bifter.
Bit of cheese.
Blue cheese.
It's gotta be. That's it. So the Icarus one is in Russia, right? The wrestlers?
No, Icarus is a cyclist. A journalist.
Right. Yeah,
he's a cyclist. The original film would have been amazing because he's basically said, "I'm gonna take all the steroids and on this program that these guys were using all the steroids from A to B." All the steroids on a program, and I'm going to see what kind of performance differences I make because he cycled a race. And he got a place. He placed maybe like 15th in it, and then next year he was going to see if he could do better. He done it, but then his bike broke, so it never worked. And then in comes this big, massive Russian doping scandal, which was incredible.
Because he used the guy that was head of the Russian,
USADA
for testing, like the Russian version.
And they were just encouraging it, right? They were like,
he was the one that was fucking making them all pass. So he worked with them, and the idea was to sort of show everyone him going up in places and pissing clean, and then when he wins at the end, then he can be like, well, I'm not clean. But they all say that though. Imagine if he'd won and be like, nah, I'm not bringing the documentary out anymore. I just feel like I won this shit.
The trophy's mine.
So what was the one? I might get mixed up. Was there a one with the Russian wrestlers in or something, or was that just that happened to be a scandal? Or was there a documentary?
Are you talking about like Olympic sort of wrestlers?
Yeah.
Maybe they spoke about it on this when they were talking about the Russian guy. Like he was a famous runner, I think.
I mean, there was like in the Sochi Games. This was the Sochi Games is the one that they engineered to win. Every Russian athlete won. And I'm pretty sure there'd be wrestlers in there somewhere. So like they were just they were switching out samples. There was this bottle designed to close, and it couldn't be opened unless it was broken. And they took it away to like this FSB place, and it would come back opened, just like somehow opened.
FIB place.
Yeah, and they were just it's an amazing. Have you not seen the film? No. Man, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's brilliant.
I mean, I always thought it was amazing when you see the fucking the tubes and stores. You put the money in, and it goes like that. There's a whole system for that. I thought that was amazing when I found out what that was doing. Imagine my mind when I fucking figured out that these guys were interfering with glass. Like canisters, they don't break obviously, and they're able to switch them out and all these things.
Amazing.
It's just unreal. Like it's very coordinated. Putin obviously had a hand in it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's actually really cool to see it unfold as like cheating in sport. But the real reason was that like after the Sochi Games, Putin went into Crimea. Where was it? Putin went to?
Georgia? No.
He invaded someplace.
Oh, Georgia, was it?
Nah.
Crimea?
I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, it was basically a reason. It was basically a reason to move into and invade this land because apparently the Russians weren't so happy with Putin, so he used the Sochi Game success to do some bad shit.
I think it was something like Crimea.
So what you're saying, the Sochi Game success was to further his profile and make him beloved again?
No, well, basically, you know how they've always done it, where like the bread and the circus, like the sport is a way to distract people from it. So this is what they were doing. They made the whole
weapons of mass distraction.
Yes,
it's kind of like when there's the 1939 Olympic Games, and it was supposed to show that the Nazis were superior in every way, and it ended up like all black people winning. So they were just like crying.
You know what, man? I'd love to see like a good film about that because I've seen a footage of I don't know. I think it's a black runner or maybe a javelin guy, and there's a Nazi flag behind them, and I'm like, I wonder how that was. Yeah, like. Oh yeah, we're killing all these guys, but like bring the black guys over to compete. Like I would be terrified. You know what I mean, like I don't know how that works.
It's a weird time in that in that part of the history of the war, it wasn't quite sort of prevalent at what was happening. And the symbology of Nazism at that point was just sort of nationalism in a way, but it wasn't sort of dangerous.
It was during the Second World War, was it?
Yeah, I think.
Did you say 38?
I said 39 because that's when it all...
Can be. It has to be an uneven number, right?
Yeah.
Every 4 years.
I'm not sure.
Olympic Games?
Oh, shit, I don't know. That's good thinking, though.
That's the math teacher.
39's when it all kicked off.
1936.
All right,
36,
okay.
so there
they
we
were
go.
still...
So, but I guess on the rise, though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
probably where the...
Well, this is the fucked up thing, and I've said this a few times. Hitler was on Times Man of the Year, the front cover in 1939.
Yeah, with the National Party. Of
Yeah.
In 39?
Yes. Let me see.
That was the green light. To,
Wait,
to
on
start
what
all
magazine?
Times Man of the Year.
Times Man of the Year.
Yeah,
Like,
you know Time magazine.
Yeah. In 39, when he started World War II,
Well,
he's Man of the Year.
I might be wrong on the actual.
They always fuck that shit up, though, eh? All the wrong guys. Mark Zuckerberg got something recently, did he not? Or like...
1938.
38, there you go. Wow.
And I might be talking absolute nonsense, but it says it might be one of those like, but it says he is. Yeah.
Is it The Onion?
No, Snopes was okay.
Snopes, yeah.
Let's see what Snopes says. Yes, Snopes says it was true in 1938. He was on Time front cover.
That's not.
But he was actually seen as someone who's doing something for Germany.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot of great things. This always happens with people that get into power. They obviously have to do something that is good. He was one of the first people to champion rights for dogs in Germany.
All right.
You know, he wasn't allowing, ironically enough, allowing people to sort of be cruel to animals at that point.
Right.
Right.
And he brought in all these sort of rules to put people away that would do that.
So that was the only good he done. He done a fuckload of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Made up for
The bad definitely outweighed the good for sure.
But there are always aspects of sort of people taking over. Genghis Khan did some similar things. You know, he opened up the Silk Route and all the trade routes,
yeah.
but he murdered like something crazy, like 90 million people.
That's a record, like.
Yeah.
That's some
That's
kill
up there.
death ratio. Right?
Yeah.
Have you heard?
That was a computer game, imagine.
Have you heard about the
some
time?
kind of token for that?
Dan Carlin's hardcore history. He talks about the Genghis Khan sort of era, and it's 4 episodes, which is amazing. They're like 4 hours each on each episode of the Rise of the Khans. It's called.
Yeah, so the Khan dynasty, didn't he die young though?
Who?
Genghis Khan and
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah, like his like subsequent guys
Kublai
that
Khan
took
or
over, but
whatever it was.
they in each turn they became less and less like him. They became part because they were part of a massive civilization, as opposed to Genghis came from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what he would do was like take over people, but he would say you can worship whoever you want to worship when I'm leader, but you have to be under me. And that's he would stop a lot of wars by doing that. But there was sort of anecdotal sort of written evidence about how someone of his enemies were riding up to the battle and they could see this massive like snow-capped mountain, and they say it was actually a pile of bones from all the people from all the wars that in that area had been piled up in.
What?
And when they got closer to it, it was bones.
Man.
Jeez.
I mean, they always have
cinematic
dramaticism back then, but
Wow.
I guess you did though, right? Like that was the whole point. Like you go to Rome today and you look at
supposedly had a
massive
like,
doors, you would think, oh, a giant lives here. You know, that's the propaganda of the
you
time,
probably
isn't it?
do believe in giants, though.
Yeah, at that time, yeah, man. Dark Ages, you're believing whatever the spooky story is. You know, there's no.
Seraphims, is that what a giant is?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that
I lost me there, man.
half giant and half?
What, half the good half?
All from the top up.
From the top up.
I think it's seraphim.
What's it called? A what?
Seraphim. They talk about them in the Bible. I might be. I'm obviously.
All right. Is that what the name is for a giant? No, no.
I think it might be the half and half. They say that there was a land of huge people, and somehow we
All right.
had the old hanky panky.
All right.
I wonder what happened first though. Was it female giant to male, or was it the other way around?
Gotta be giant. Male giant. Human
So it's
female.
gay procreation. Is that what you were saying?
There's anything wrong with that?
No, there's not. But gay giant procreation, I'm dead against.
Yeah.
I'm not for it at all.
How'd you build a wall to keep them out? Man? Jeez. Some size.
Well, how does anyone build a wall to keep anybody out? You don't.
You don't?
So far.
Is he building this wall?
I heard he
I saw plans.
Oh, no, I heard there was
he
something going on.
crowdfunded.
Yeah.
I heard he crowdfunded and he's made like 10 million already. and he crowdfunded people to pay for the wall because he can't do it through.
But it's not really
10
going to happen.
million's not going to be a scratch on what they need to build a wall across the Americas.
Let's get a bunch of Mexicans make it.
It's not going to be anything, is it? 10 million.
Let's get a bunch of Mexicans to come in and make it.
He's not going to build a wall, though, is it?
I don't know.
It's all chat.
Oh, fuck, he's some boy. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Like, I don't think the wall will be up. Something's going to happen, though. He's not going to. Is he going to get a second term?
I think from what I've read and what I'm hearing on the giant wall thing, is that they think he's going to go for a second term, and he will get it.
That's how are they going to oppose him?
I don't know. I don't know what the script
Who's
is.
going to be against him?
Someone needs to come and oppose him because no one's going to pick Pellery after the last time.
Oh God, no.
How are they? Joe Rogan. Fuck that.
He'll be too formal.
He'll be giving everyone DMT, bro. That's his thing,
Injections.
Yeah.
He'd make it rain DMT through chemtrails.
Is the DMTs at the ayahuasca trips? Is that the same thing? We were talking
It's
about
the
that
same
last time.
component, yeah.
Right.
But it's different. Ayahuasca, you imbibe and you trip for like several hours. DMT, you just smoke. It's the pure form of it. It's part of it. And then you only trip for 15 minutes, but it's supposed to be fucking like amazing.
Yeah. I think I'd probably lean more towards the DMT than
I want to do
lying
that.
in a hut, sweating, shitting out my mouth.
Yeah. What was you were saying? It's like muddy soup or something you have to drink?
Yeah,
and
something
it's
like
like,
that
no
I had on a shaman guy that said he did it like every day for 2 months.
every day?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I can't imagine that.
No.
My mind would burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is it worth it, really? Is the juice worth the squeeze on that one? Like,
Probably
getting
not.
melted for 2 months.
Yeah. You'd never recover every day for
No.
2 months.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it has to have some effect on your sort of mental
That's got to change
capacity.
it. It'll change you for sure.
Yeah.
If you do it for a long time.
I mean, they say like one acid trip can just change you permanently
Yeah.
in a good way or sort of whatever. But imagine just taking fucking ayahuasca every day.
There's
Plus, you've got to clear that schedule, man. For the next 2 months, I'm busy.
one of the Manson family, they were making like this. They were making like an ayahuasca thing, and it's not ayahuasca, but it's something else. It's a root.
Is it like ibogaine, maybe? There's an
nah.
African version of it, which is ibogaine.
I don't know. It didn't sound like that when they said it, but they're making it in the middle of this room, and this nutter just runs up and like they said he ate it like a potato. He spit it like a potato,
God.
and he went away, and it was never the same.
Wow,
He tripped for like
Who's that,
so long.
Manson?
One of the Manson
Well,
family.
Manson family.
that's insane. It's probably the guy that he got to kill everyone, maybe.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was even there at the time. But
Well, there is sort of like that is the main thing because he was arrested and sent to jail, but he'd never technically killed
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. Like everyone's always like,
You're not cutting babies at pregnant women and shit?
Nah, not him. He wasn't there. Nah, he's
maybe in jail, but
he's
not.
in the jail for like inspiring this as a cult leader.
right.
I think.
It's a nice way. to put
But it was also
But I know what you mean.
It was also like a weird point as well. It's like, can you get all your civil rights and liberties taken away from you just from saying and talking and not actually doing something physical? Like there was a definite like weirdness to it because of the law and how it worked and how you are as a person and what constitutes you actually harming someone.
Yeah, there's not too. It can't be too many cases like Charlie Manson's.
Have you ever seen? Is it Mindhunter?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Wow,
Clue me up.
it's on Netflix. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's about the beginnings. I think it's fiction about the two guys that were doing it.
Is it fiction?
I think those characters they're based on other people, but those guys are not real. I think it
Oh,
was like an
what?
amalgamation of like other people as well.
All right.
But it was the beginnings of serial killer profiling. Before that, they didn't even have words for it. So they were just like, oh, people who... And they thought it was like a reflection of civilization. Like, well, people are just going a bit screwy because there's a bunch of people here. But they actually went over all the sort of serial killer profiles up until that point and started to formulate what constitutes a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great show.
It's amazing because they're able to say like, oh, look, there's this guy out there. He's going to be like, he's probably on his own. He maybe keeps a journal. Like they can give you like really so
All
like
the
people
building
can go, oh
blocks of
shit,
a
I know
serial
that guy.
killer. Right.
And then
Fingering badgers at night, like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Badgers.
if you watch that and then go on to Manhunt Unabomber,
Okay.
that would be for me like the continuation because it's obviously later on and they use FBI profiling to catch.
What do you think him? Like the Unabomber, do you think
not
he was at
much.
fault? Or have you not
At
heard?
fault? Well, he was sending bombs to people.
But the government fucking were using LSD on him and fried his brain before then. Like he was in a program where they were
Just like
testing
what
out.
they did in Vietnam.
Yeah, they were testing out LSD on him.
Shit, there's another Netflix show about that as well, isn't there? They're
And he
using
just
LSD.
what he did was he lost his mind because of all these like experiments they were doing on him with LSD. He was basically gone for a year, and then he started thinking that technology was an evil. And then he went out in the woods and started like sending all these bombs everywhere. And he was like I think he was a lecturer at a university before that.
Yeah, he's a super
He's
clever guy.
just saving his money so he can send bombs in the mail.
Jesus.
Fuck me.
And then he fucking
Yeah. As I know, I totally forgot about the fact that he was like experimented on, but he's got to be stopped though. Eh? Doing that shit, you got to stop him. You can't be just like, oh, it's our fault.
Well, it's kind of similar to the guy that I think it was at 1950s, and there was the mass shooting at one of the universities, and it was a guy sniping people.
The tower.
Yeah,
The guy with the tumor.
yeah, like he
Had a brain tumor?
Yeah, like but before he died, I think he killed himself,
Yeah.
or did he get
He
electrocuted?
killed himself.
He had written a note saying, "Look at my brain after I die. Like there's something not right with me." And they opened him up, and he had like tumors in his brain that were obviously.
That was the thing with Chris Benoit, because they were always saying how nice a guy he was, such a gentleman, and then so many bumps to the head, concussions, like I mentioned, probably steroid abuse. If you opened up that guy's brain by the end of it.
I wonder if they did. They did an autopsy.
I'm sure there was some kind of, maybe not on him, but there was some kind of study on wrestlers after that. And his name was obviously in the
American
in the
football gets to get those guys. A lot of those guys turn violent, and they can link it completely to concussion.
Is it Concussion the movie with Will Smith? I've not seen that one.
Dude, I can't do it, man. The guy's doing an accent. Will Smith's doing an accent that the guy
in West
didn't
Philadelphia.
have. The boy didn't even have this accent, and Will Smith's putting on this incredible South African accent.
Really?
Yeah, it's horrible. I had to turn it off. Like
That
it was meant to be a big film, but like I was like, "There's no way I'm listening to this, man."
I mean, he's another screwball as well. Like his son. Have you seen his son?
It's just him, isn't it?
Like Jaden.
Yeah, he's so weird. I mean, he smells of someone that's brought up by someone who's very like PC and open-minded. His son's just like, are you pregnant? Or are you dropping bombs?
Why would it be a text? Surely that's a phone call. We're okay.
The doctor's like, the bairn's here. Send you a picture, a selfie with the bairn.
Oh, my God.
And I'm the pappy.
There's going to be a few of them. Oh, no. That's right. O2.
Well, you got your big end of the year awards podcast tomorrow.
It's going to be interesting tomorrow as well. I know.
You know.
Supposed to, I usually do them live on the Sunday.
All right.
And it was like, there ain't no way we could do that live. Because gotta go, guys. there's a baby on the way.
Yeah.
See ya.
No, it's
So
twiddling
we'll
around. What's the format of that one usually?
What did you do last year's?
No.
We will do like a couple of categories. Like I think this year I'll go to fight of the year, finish of the year. I usually like who had a year to forget. And Jon Jones has won that the last 2 years, and I can't see anyone else. Maybe Conor McGregor, you could argue for this year. But that's the time when you get a lot of fan questions, but like ridiculous ones. I usually sieve out like the stupid ones, but for the end of year purposes, because it's a bit.
And is it just
keep them in.
the fight of the year and all that is just what the public?
Yeah, everyone just we do a public vote and we put it on the page. But for the show, it's just like what you guys think.
Okay,
give you like the floor 5 minutes to convince me why this guy is, and then I'm sure they don't care about the award, but it's fun for us.
Yeah,
the fun part of the show is just hearing what everybody's got, because I've already had quite a few in about the Jon Jones thing. So like just hearing everyone's jokes really on that, everyone's piss take on that situation. But of course, we've got the fight itself to have first, so things might change by the time tomorrow's show
because it
comes
might all
around.
just like change after.
Fight might not even take place. You might feel another drugs test. Who knows? Knowing Jon Jones, man, Jesus.
I feel so sorry for Gus, man. Just because like, if he doesn't win this, I think he'll quit MMA.
Just get fed up with it. There was a thing that Daniel Cormier just relinquished the title, which I thought he'd already done anyway. He was just so disgusted with like what you were saying, the favoritism Jones gets. He was like, "Yeah, just keep your belt. This is what you're doing."
Because he's defended it over the last 3 years, properly. Actually,
in his absence, whilst he's been on the gear. So
And he took up, and it's just like, well, we have our goat back, so we're just going to fucking chivvy it to the side.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for Gus because just out with all the stuff that's going on this week, just because he's beat everyone in that division and then gets to DC and gets to Jones and just pipped at last post. Almost could. I think on any other night he could have beat those two. But just those times, those guys were just that little bit better. So I don't know where he goes after if he gets beaten by John.
And he wants to beat him so bad. He's so competitive. Isn't he?
I mean, if he does, I think my pick for that is going to be Jones to win, but I want Gus to win. Like that's my.
I just feel like though, no matter what the result, it's kind of just going to be like a bit of a slump
Tainted.
when it's finished. Like of course, like if Gustafsson wins, like that's awesome, but it's not going to be like when Conor McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo.
13
Nobody's
seconds.
going to be screaming.
What if Gus knocks out Jon Jones
that'd be cool,
in
actually.
12 seconds?
Yeah,
12 seconds. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Nunez and Cyborg. Actually.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really going to decide where either is cemented in their sort of legacy as a fighter, because Chris has been seen as unbeatable. And is it just a matter of time for her, or is she just genuinely the GOAT in the women's division?
Terrifying power. Like, unbelievable. You see people like just even a jab, and they're like, oh my God, they're stunned. Like how powerful she is.
One of my favourite fights that she ever had was when she fought Gina Carano. Like, I think it was just amazing. Because it was quite like there was something sexy about it.
Ultra violent at the end when she's the grounding, but the way she finished there as well and just kept going.
It was crazy because she was like the face of Strikeforce. Was it Strikeforce? Gina.
Yeah.
And Strikeforce were the first to sort of implement women's divisions. I think
it was Elite XC, which became Strikeforce or whatever they bought into it or whatever. But so
it was the first time we were getting to see high level women fight in MMA, which at that point it was seen as a joke for a lot of people, especially Dana White.
Yeah, he was coming out and saying it like that it's not going to be in the UFC, right? He was like, "It's didn't happen." And then he saw the cha-ching Ronda Rousey. He's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to happen."
And so Nunez and Cyborg, that's just going to be a fucking...
The question going into that is Nunez going to... Because she's got the power, but she's got the power at bantamweight. Is that going to transition to putting on 10 pounds? Is she going to...
She seems quite natural at that weight. Like, leading up to this fight, like, she just looks bigger. Like, she's meant to be bigger.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I mean, it could happen, but then, like, as soon as you see Chris Cyborg hit Amanda Nunez, you're gonna know. Yeah. Like
you'll know from
if she does like
strikes.
If you see her get like stopped in her tracks, like pause for a second. I feel like that's it. Like what I mean, like it's like you can tell from that first done. Yeah. Like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it happens a lot when you see someone, a champion against a challenger, and you think, oh, they're so evenly matched or whatever, but you just see that first squaring off and you're like, oh, he's fucked. Whichever guy is, they're usually the champion.
Who else we got on this card?
And just to sort of with Cyborg, imagine if we did get to see Ronda Rousey and Cyborg, like that would have been a lamb to the slaughter. Yeah. But at the time, we just thought it was going to be so evenly matched. Yeah. Like she would have genuinely maybe got murdered in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She wouldn't have been getting an armbar on Cyborg.
No chance. Way. Oh God.
She'll just put her through the floor for.
But then you do a decent enough hype. Who's your man? The UFC, and then get Joe Rogan going, this is the pound for pound, you know what I mean? And then I'm a sucker for all of that. I buy into it. Yeah, I can't help it. I don't want to. I know.
I was completely on the fucking what's his name, the heavyweight guy.
Ngannou saying,
I was on his hype train so bad. Like leading up to that, I was in and
can't
Joe
wrestle
Rogan,
for fuck.
I would die on my fucking sword just for him to win that night.
This is probably the greatest fight I've ever seen in the UFC. And I'm like, fuck it is. Number 2. Sorry guys. Did you arrive okay? I need to message this.
Is that to the baby or to you?
It's a very good question. We'll find out right now.
Hey Pa, I'm just on my way. We got Condit and Chiza, which is going to be is that one of Chiza's first fights at welterweight?
This is his first, So he's finally made the move up from lightweight. He's fighting Condit, did you say?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, I love Condit. I love me some Condit, but
I love him. But he's
not won a fight in a long time.
I liked him back in the Diaz days.
He was just an absolute assassin, like back then. there was no one. I mean, I think if he'd fought GSP 3 times out of however many times, he would have won at least one of those.
Did he fight him at all?
He fought him once, and it was Condit caught him with like, it looked like it was going to be like a low kick, and then he swung up and caught him in the neck.
Oh shit!
And GSP wobbled, and everyone's like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Remember the third round? Yeah. He dropped him?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It was a brilliant fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. I don't want Condit. I shouldn't have come back. I don't want to see him fight again.
I don't know.
Big fan of Condit, but I think the ship has sailed now. I think it's done for him. There was someone he fought recently, and that was the fight. I was like, yeah, this is over for him.
Was it?
I want to see Neil Magny.
Yeah. I think it was.
He couldn't get any. He was moving well. You know, he was throwing decent combinations, but he couldn't get anything off. And once Magny was able to like body lock him, get him down a couple of times, the look on his face was just like he couldn't be bothered with this. And when you see that in when you see like the guys sort of fed up, not giving up, but just like fed up with this, it's like, oh, there's no fighting him anymore. Yeah. And I got a feeling that fight might go the same way. I think if Chiesa gets a hold of him, gets him down, it'll just discourage him. And that could be it. I don't want to see him get beaten though. That would be the last thing I'd want to see.
Yeah, I know.
When was the last time he won a fight though? It has been a while, right?
Condit.
Yeah.
I think did he win? He didn't win his first one back, and I think he's fought like 3 times since then. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's a shame though.
Aye. Great fight.
What was I going to say? I was going to like ask you like how did you get started with like Fair City Jiu Jitsu? Because for people that are listening, like Steve's got his own jiu jitsu school in Perth, Scotland, and you were one of the first people that I'd met that had went off and just completely started their own school once they had enough under their belt. Yeah, which was amazing.
Well, I didn't.
Did you not?
I don't know. Like I was like, I was obviously training, and I was going to Dundee, training in Fife. Went to Spain, got my blue belt in Spain, and I came back to Perth, and I never had a way of getting anywhere. Like I never had no money or a job or that. And then these guys had a strongman gym up in Perth, and I had another 4 where this boy was teaching like kind of kickboxing.
Was it the Sodomy Academy?
The Sodomy Academy,
yeah, the Body Academy.
Hey,
no, this is another. It's like a strongman gym, okay. Like lifting Atlas stones. And shit. Yeah. So they had a second floor in there, and it was a small matted area, and I was like, all right, I'll just do like a couple of nights a week, just like a wee grappling club, right? Like I'm not like an instructor. I don't want to be an instructor. Like I'm just like going to start this week grappling club, right? Because there was one guy was interested in it, and I managed to get like my brother there in that as well. And then we moved around with them a bit to different locations. By this time we had maybe about 10 folk training with us. And then we parted ways with the people I was with. And I was like, shit, right, I've got like 10 people that like jiu-jitsu. Am I just going to like fuck off again somewhere and do jiu-jitsu on my own? Or like, am I going to like get a car and travel? Or could I just take this a little bit further and take it from one step from like a grappling club into like a gym? And that's what we done. Like I think it was like a 3-month period that we transitioned into the new place.
And in your mind at that point, because I know there's a lot of people who train MMA all their life or jiu-jitsu and feel they're never in a position to teach. Like they just feel like they don't have any knowledge to give, even though they do. It's just about doing it. But was that how did it ever cross your mind? Because what was that? You were a blue belt.
I was a blue belt. Yeah, I was probably pretty shit as well. But like I think I jumped into it, and I was just like, here's the kind of I would keep it to the stuff that I knew, and I would kind of learn how to teach as I went on. And I've been extremely lucky in the sense that I do feel like I'm actually a really good instructor and a good coach, because my guys coming at my gym are pretty damn good. They're better. They're blue belts, and they're better than me than when I was a blue belt. You know what I mean?
Well, I've seen the guys that you've trained at different competitions, and I've not been to the clubs. I've not seen, but it's obviously reflecting how you're teaching through there, because your guys are absolutely, absolute assassins. Well, really well rounded for people at their levels as well.
Yeah, no, it is scary, because even when I was a blue belt, like I still relied on my guard. My passing wasn't that good. But the guys at the gym, like my brother and that, they're so impressive. And it's not just so much like my instruction. I feel like when I started Fair City Jiu Jitsu, one of the main things was like developing a culture in the gym, developing like a way of thinking. So when new people join, they know how the gym is and they know how we train, like setting that bar.
Like an ethos.
Yeah. So like, and it was just really about hard work and just training, drilling, lots of drilling, and then like an hour of sparring. So an hour of drilling, an hour of sparring. And we're open 7 days a week. And maybe like people were always saying like there was times when it first started, I would go in and nobody would turn up one night because it's on 7 days a week, right? And it's in Perth. So it's a small city. And people would say like, oh, why don't you just close? Why don't you just close on a Friday night?
And according to some, it's not even a city. Sorry.
Yeah. Fair City. So, where was I?
Sorry, you were at, the small city.
You don't want to close.
So, they were like, oh, why don't you just close on a city? Because the 7 days a week thing wasn't just to have people in the door. It was saying something, right? 7 days a week. There's not actually that many jiu-jitsu gyms that do 7 days a week in bigger cities.
Edinburgh is the only one I've been to that has one of those. And that's been there for 10 years at least.
Yeah. So to jump to 7 days a week was really ambitious. And I spent a long time, man, turning up, and there would be nights where people wouldn't turn up. And, thankfully nowadays it's Fridays used to be the dead, absolutely dead.
And it never discouraged you when
busy.
you would have like no one, like an empty day. You'd be like, oh well, I'm still doing this.
Nah,
Didn't change your mind on it?
I'll just armbar myself.
Armbar myself, yeah.
I'll just do some stretching and go. It's a night off for me, but like, it was kind of like, if you build it, they will come. Yeah. I just kind of trusted that.
It's good.
Even it's not like just build it and they'll come. Like obviously, I worked my arse off in courses and advertising and deals and all this shit, instead of trying to get people in. And it's paid off, man. My Friday night's gone from 0 people or 2 or 3 people to like, I don't know how many I'm getting now, maybe like 12, 15, which is decent for Perth. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a total fight. It's a total war.
And you're a purple belt now, is that right?
I'm a purple belt now, yeah.
I mean, not many people at that level have that sort of under their belt, unless you're from Brazil and you're in the sticks or whatever. That's such an accomplishment to be 29 and have that level of people underneath you as well.
It's sometimes one of the things I had to kind of learn was to stop and be like, and appreciate what I've got, because the first year was just blind going for it. Like I didn't even stop to think about what am I doing? Like, is this a crazy idea? Is this, should I be worried? I wasn't worried. People were saying like, oh, you can't do 7 days a week and not have a holiday. You don't have anybody to cover you for holidays. I'm like, well, fuck it. This is going to be the hard part, right? I'm going to get through this hard part.
That's your trenches time, right?
In like 4 years, I'm going to have some blue purple belts that can cover some classes so I can get away. Because it's already happening. I can get my blue belts that are champions and that and good. They have specific areas that they know so well that they can teach for a couple of nights a week. Wow. If I need to go somewhere, I can get them to cover it. You know what I mean?
And did you and your brother start at the same time? You both?
No, my brother started under me.
Right.
So when I moved to Perth back from Spain,
do you ever try and keep things from him so he doesn't like get one up on you when you're rolling?
I don't, but I wish I did. He's getting there, man. He gives me a fright sometimes, but
I think you're one of the first people that I've encountered that is like so, and like you just are constantly, when you were sort of up and coming, you were just constantly progressing. I remember seeing you in Dundee and we rolled a few times, and even within that time, like over the space of a month or whatever, like you were just progressing and finding ways to catch people.
I've just been mad for it.
And you were genuinely mad for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Is it no gi or gi that you're more?
We do more gi.
Okay.
But we have one night a week that's no gi.
Okay.
And that's
you mean no gays?
Hey.
So 6 days a week we're gay, and Friday we were no gay.
I just meant because it's with the gay, not anything to do with gay people.
But that's not reflected in our competition results. We've done really well no gi.
Do you find that you teach, when you're teaching, it is gi orientated?
It's
Or are you just teaching in the gi and it's like underhooks and sort of whatever you're teaching?
I can translate it. I can add some notes like, oh, you will do this if it's no gi, we'll do that. I find it easier to translate the gi to the no gi. For example, when my brother's like never come to the no gi class. He maybe done a couple of months of no gi, and that was just because he didn't have a gi when he first started. And
It's the usual one.
when we went into this no gi, he just said like, "Fuck it, I'll sign up to this no gi because I'm there for the gi." And I was like, "Look, man, just look for Kimuras and guillotines." And he won in the division, and a big division as well, because he's a good grappler.
Yeah.
He's good. He doesn't completely rely on the gi. He's not doing crazy.
No,
because you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. You cannot really overuse the gi. You know. So I feel like,
and that's what good jiu-jitsu is just being able to translate it in different, like gi or no gi. It shouldn't be just, well, I'm in this mode now. Like you just said to him, Kimuras or like what was it?
Kimuras and guillotines.
Yeah, like those things work whatever you're doing.
Yeah, man. Just start looking for them. Like ditch the rest of the stuff. Don't try and do some like crazy gi guards in the no gi because it's not going to work. Like, stand up and just wrestle, look for Kimuras, and it paid off. I mean, that's just me skimming over it. Of course, like I went into a bit more detail, but
do you sort of follow what's going on behind the scenes in the jiu-jitsu world? I mean, there's a lot. It feels like the more famous that people are becoming because of jiu-jitsu, it's becoming more like the UFC and MMA in terms of people becoming characters and trying to make money and cause issues.
I think
I'm calling out Dylan.
Dylan Dennis. I knew that's where you were going now.
Dylan Dennis, AJ Agazarm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good way to sell a match or a fight or a pay-per-view or whatever, but it's not super effective in jiu-jitsu. I think most people are just like, let's chill the fuck out. Jiu-jitsu. It doesn't fly because there's not that. I think maybe because there's no casual fans of a jiu-jitsu show. Like I know a lot of people that love jiu-jitsu but don't watch jiu-jitsu shows.
Okay.
So there's no real casual fans. You're not going to get a guy that doesn't train watching Pilates.
That's true. That's a very good point.
So, Conor McGregor can rope anybody in with his mouth. Like just some, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't want to offend anybody. But like some person that doesn't train or like just has never watched a combat sport in their life. Conor McGregor's like flamboyant saying that can drag people in.
He brought a bunch of casual people in.
For
just
sure.
through his presence and personality, he was able to bring in people that never even watched the UFC probably at that point.
Of course, yeah, he's changed it, and it's not working as much in jiu-jitsu. It's fun. Like AJ, I like AJ. Like it's fun because he does it in a very kind of playful way. He had that thing with Jake Shields, which was funny. Don't like Jake Shields.
Did not.
Nah, I don't, man.
I've met him, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Well, I've met Dylan Dennis, and he's a nice guy as well. So
I partied with Jake Shields.
Did you?
When I was in Toronto,
Wow.
like he came up for the
Couture, wasn't it?
I was Extreme Couture in Toronto. My boss who owned the gym was good friends with Jake, and he came up for the UFC in Toronto at that point when it was Jon Jones versus what's his name? Shit, the Brazilian guy.
Wichita?
No, the guy who's on all the
Vitor?
roids. Vitor, yeah. Like,
He's on all the roids.
proper,
he never got his arm broken in that match as well.
because he had him like in an armbar, in a straight armbar, and that showed you how Jones wasn't going to quit. Like he was not going to bitch out. Not that that's bitching out, but you know what I'm saying. And I met Jake Shields because he came and we went on a night out. Completely one of the nicest guys I've ever met, but only wears like stuff that is given to him, like sponsored t-shirts.
Really?
Like just doesn't dress up ever. Just wears like old UFC t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like
UFC 25. He's got a t-shirt.
I think I just don't like his style so much.
No, he is pretty like
It's very MMA grappling style.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously incredible. He's like brilliant grappler, but it's just like it's not like my.
and it's his style. Like it's very much him.
Yeah.
The way he grapples. There's like he's not really imitating anyone really the way we get with other people. But I think with the Dylan Dennis thing, there's no smoke without fire. And I think if Marcelo sort of left him, there must be something there.
There must be something. I mean, the feeling that before I went to New York, I was like Dylan Dennis is a utter fanny. But then when I trained there with
Is this when he was still at Marcelo's?
no, this is him at Unity.
Okay.
This is him like last month.
Okay.
It was a very serious pro session, but he was kind of just sitting at the side staring at his feet. Very quiet guy. Exchanged a few words with people. I rode with him. He demolished me. After it, he was asking me where I was from, and he was the one that spoke to me the most there.
Okay.
Right.
And I got that kind of feeling that he's like, man, it's like 22 or something.
He's 22.
Is he?
Aye.
He's 22.
Dylan Dennis is young, man.
What the? And that all starts to make sense now. You know, when you're that age and you get impressioned by anyone.
I was a fucking utter fan.
Oh, we all were.
And I'm only 29. I mean, I've not come along that far, but mature-wise, this guy's, I'm assuming,
no idea he
a
was that
fairly
young.
rich
Did
kid.
not.
Like, I'm assuming his family have made sure he can just do jiu-jitsu for his whole life. You know, he's just lived in the gym his whole life, and he's exposed to a guy like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's going to rub off. Yeah.
At 22, like, fucking the postman could have rubbed off on me at that point.
I mean, he's not causing any
literally.
harm. He just looks like a dick.
Special delivery.
Always knocks twice.
But yeah,
22.
I get the feeling that he's just a young man.
It's
trying
very-
to find his way.
It's such an exciting sport, though, because there's so much coming up in terms of techniques and people sort of coming up with new stuff, but and regurgitating old stuff. But it's just blowing the sport wide open. I think a lot of it's down to the rule set changing as well. Do you think the rule set's a reflection of how much the sport's progressing, or is the sport progressing because of the rule changes?
There has been like a massive evolution in the way jiu-jitsu is, even in the short time that I've been doing it. You know, with the sub only, is that what you're talking about? Like sub only events and stuff like that. It's kind of, I feel it's kind of divided. It's not like if you're a sub only, like I feel like the guys that are brilliant at sub only, like Eddie Cummins, he doesn't really train any gi. He's not going to be doing IBJJF tournaments. So they're kind of guys that do IBJJF, there's guys that do sub only, and there is guys that cross over, of course. And ADCC kind of links them all together because the IBJJF guys want the ADCC, the sub-only guys like the ADCC, because they're kind of mixed there. But it's been incredible to see with the whole leg lock stuff. And it still blows my mind. Like I kind of try and stick to like working certain techniques for like months. Like I stick to one subject for like months. So I'm going to try and get around to more leg lock stuff before I'm a brown belt. But
it's tough though, because it's a whole other part of the game.
It's like
it's just as complicated as the upper body stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to the leg lock stuff, it's like, I mean, I just know enough to get away from the leg lock.
To get out of it. That's exactly my game. I feel it. Pin that ankle and I'm getting the fuck out.
Nowadays they just have so many entries
and
stuff like that. I was rolling with blue belts at Unity and they were just fucking smashing me in that sense. Like every time I went to do my usual passing, they were just getting into amazing leg lock positions where you're fucked.
But it's funny how it's always like intelligent people that you meet that want to do it as well. Like people that are sort of that have organized minds generally when you meet people that do BJJ. But one of the things that always strikes me is the sort of people pushing towards making a position out of something that wouldn't normally be, like, you know, going to it and utilizing it and teaching it. Like some people would just see it as like a transition as opposed to maybe a natural position, and then that becomes their shtick, like the worm guard and all this.
Well, I mean, worm guard aside, I think
not that I know what it is.
The better you get at jiu-jitsu, the more you recognize. You recognize more position. Like to a guy that's just started, it might be like, I'm in front of the guy, I'm past the guy's guard, knee on belly, mount, back. But then, you know, as you get deeper and deeper into it, you start to view things that would be grey areas more as a position. And give yourself kind of I give myself kind of like rules and try and get an understanding of what I should do here. Like I really like the leg drag position. Just like turned away, like a side control, but you're round at their hips. Because when we do a lot of gi, obviously, and we train for IBJJF competitions generally, of course there's like self-defense and that all involved in that. But when we pass the guard, we generally circle back into the hips and stabilize in leg drag position to stabilize the hips, as opposed to rushing up to come and grab the head, where it gives you space on this other side for them to bring their leg in. So like they'll understand the leg drag position, and that gives you, you know, you've got a leg drag position, but where are your arms? You know, so like that's when somebody that's as you're evolving, you start to realize like, oh, you could be like leg drag here, or it could be like leg drag with this arm. So there's all different rules for this kind of thing, because it's something that works with this arm, with this grip. might not work with this grip.
that one,
You know what I mean? Or he might give me a different reaction if I'm using this grip.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah. But the worm guard thing is tricky, man. It's tricky. Tricky to get out of. Tricky to set up as well, though.
So just to bring it back, sorry, just to bring it
going
back.
to say it's infuriating when it's on you.
I just do the worm on someone.
Yeah, it's going to always.
You were saying that some people see BJJ as a self-defense or as an actual just sport in itself. Do you make a distinction between those two?
I don't. Like, I've taught like self-defense seminars and stuff to groups like outside the gym.
Right. Just kids in the street.
Yeah.
Here,
just
punch this guy in the
gather round.
just worm guard and kids. This is self-defense. I promise you.
So, where were we?
You were talking about the distinction
beating up
between
kids,
self-defense and just the sport of it is itself.
I think like generally training jiu-jitsu is going to get you better at defending yourself, even if it's in the gi or no gi, whatever. It's going to get you better at defending yourself. Nobody's going to be trying to put, even if you're an avid worm guard player, you're not going to be trying to play worm guard on somebody in the street. But like, you're going to know how to stand up, get away, create distance, manage the distance, and that's what's really important. Like, you know, controlling the hips, getting behind them, controlling the hips. I've been there myself in like a self-defense situation, and some people might consider me like a really sporty jiu-jitsu type guy, but I feel like I can defend. Like, I know the difference. Like, I'm not going to be trying to like lasso people's arms with their sleeve grips. You know what I mean? It's easy enough to make the distinction between defending yourself, and I just feel like that's picked up over it. Sometimes I can, if I'm talking about certain techniques and and it's a common kind of street fight situation, maybe I can like just add some notes there. But
I think what you're trying to say though is that everyone should learn no gi. I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah,
because you hate gi, right?
No, I don't hate it. I'm just like, I'm messing.
No gi, no. I mean,
that's the wrestler in you, right? That's why you're not a fan.
But then no gi, like you could see the same thing. I mean, like if you went to no gi and everybody's sitting down on their butts doing leg walks, you're not going to do that in a street self-defense. I think if you're to truly train for self-defense, you should be doing like live sparring of being attacked, I guess. Yeah. Like, because like if I pick up a new technique, I'll drill it for months with my brother. That's drilling no resistance. Then we might start to add resistance, and they'll start to hit it on the lower level guys in the gym before it can start to hit it on the higher level guys in the gym. So you're going to have to do that with every self-defense situation you can think of. And I think practicing jiu-jitsu just helps you enough. Well, it helps me enough. I'm either in the gym or at work. I'm not traipsing the streets looking for a fight. You know what I mean?
And your gi swinging around.
It's good advertising.
Fair City Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, make sure you got a big patch on that. Back of the gi.
But yeah, I done a self-defense seminar that's a women's festival that was in Perth. And it was mainly about managing the distance, getting out of a headlock, stuff like that.
That's awesome,
some of the worst things I've seen on YouTube.
There's a couple of them on about
women's self-defense.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable. Have you seen the one where the girl's getting choked and the guy says, "Push his head down on his arm when he's choking her, and that'll make me go unconscious." And it was like, no you're going to go unconscious.
Yeah, there's a lot of those kicking about just now. Brilliant for me because I'm sharing them all. It's just like, everybody have a look at this utter nonsense. I love all those phony like fake martial arts, you know, the no touch guys, but it seems to be there's a lot just now of, I don't know why that is, just like terrible. And it is, it's women's self-defense, like terrible ones.
I think that's the one.
Doing, man?
Women's self-defense is the very one that should be sort of organized and it should be legit what you're doing. That's the very one that you need to be doing something properly, and BJJ for women is just fantastic because it gets you used to those positions that if you're attacked by a man, these are just going to be the positions that you're going to be in, and you know how to stay calm under pressure and defend yourself.
Yeah. And there's only so much you can do though. You know, there's only so much you can train for a self-defense situation because, you know, a 6-foot guy grabbing a tiny young woman, even if she's drilled a million self-defense techniques, it's going to be pretty fucking hard for her. You know what I mean? So that's why I concentrated mainly on managing distance, escaping, and then not engaging. Like, I'm not going to tell a woman to engage with a man that's attacking her because he's going to win.
Some of the funniest ones actually I've seen is Gracie's Renner, was it? One of them.
Oh yeah,
And he did one with his wife recently.
Yeah.
It started off really good, and then it was like using a bed sheet to like do lapel chokes and gi chokes, and I was like, okay.
It was getting that way, wasn't it?
The t-shirt one's cool though.
Yeah.
He rolls a t-shirt up the back and does a collar choke.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, that's very cool.
I can imagine that would work. I was actually going to do that at this self-defense seminar, but I wasn't going to go and buy like 10 t-shirts.
The guard one's big for women if they know that position,
Yeah.
being in guard and knowing how to be comfortable with it and using your legs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's so important for women. I mean, it also it's like, I wish it didn't have to be like that, but that happens, and you just have to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
And you're doing kids classes now, right?
Yeah, I do kids classes at the weekends. I think in the future I'm going to be splitting them in ages. I've got a 6 to 12 just now. And we kind of split the room. Me and my brother all kind of take different groups. But, oh man, I've got some kids that are like 9 that could be amazing.
Yeah.
They're so keen, man.
Imagine learning all that stuff at that age.
I know.
If I had that chance,
I
I'd
didn't
be
start
like,
till I was 30.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It gives them, you can see the benefits in a lot of them as well in terms of like their confidence and that as well. I've had some teenagers come in and they're just like so appreciative of how much it's changed them. Like not even the the techniques, just like
Character building,
the
right?
lifestyle.
yeah.
Going in and getting beat up by.
But when we were younger, there was nothing like that. I mean,
Killer rounders. Did you not have that? That was brutal.
what, killer rounders?
You never had killer rounders? So you do rounders, but the teacher would make a part. Maybe
Do
it's
you
just
also-
my skill then.
Do you also finger badgers at night?
No, that was the second killer rounders.
Are you a serial killer?
Just scalped you with it. It wasn't even a. Why did they call it a softball? You know, the big brick hard one you get for baseball or whatever. Yeah, they would just absolutely.
It's
annihilate
softer
you with
than the other one, I guess.
that. Didn't feel like it when it was hitting you in the leg.
But when we were younger, though, it was just karate or boxing, and boxing seemed like too much effort. And it was like, well, I just like to kick and jump around like a Nancy boy.
yeah, there was none of that, right?
That was one of the things I did as a child. Got my black belt when I was 15, and it was just like, this was
Karate?
so pointless. Yeah,
Right.
Shokan. I mean, the distance issue of it was brilliant
Yeah.
for later on when I did MMA, but it was just, there were so many other things that I could have done. You know, the discipline was great. Like I went every week, sometimes twice or whatever. And yeah, I was really into it at a young age, and I was disciplined, but just there's other things I should have probably have learned.
What do you think it was? Was some of it was a waste of time?
Yeah, completely. I mean, if I had actually got attacked while I was learning karate, I think the things I thought I could do would just not have an effect.
Yeah,
I probably would have
probably
run.
hilarious as well.
I'm on a McDojo Life video, just like this kid getting the massive chin and beard, like getting his face kicked.
God. I did Taekwondo from when I was 10 till I was about 17. And that was basically the sparring is catch me if you can. You know, it's like tag and get out.
Yeah.
And when I say get out, you would leap back like 2 feet.
Yeah.
And is it not
Bounce back
is it
in,
not-
leap back out.
Is it not a sport that's been dramatically affected by rule changes over the year?
It has recently. Yeah.
Like judo as well.
Yeah.
That's just,
They've changed a lot of it now, and because it was the one that was here in Scotland, the Commonwealth or whatever. And when I was watching, I was like, this is not drastically different, but I was like, this is a lot. There was only a strike to the body. You would have a straight strike to the body. You couldn't attack the head at all. You certainly can't do a combination. What do you mean, throw more than one technique like that?
no, I'll knock you out
What the
before
fuck
you
is
do
wrong?
it.
What the fuck
One
has
out.
happened to get from like a Korean military martial
That's right,
art
stuck in the military. Yeah,
where
exactly.
oh no, you can't do 2 techniques.
Yeah,
Just
you
do
could-
the one.
yeah.
Do the one. That's your
Well, that's
chance.
what Americans do. They panzerify everything.
There was grappling
You know,
originally in Taekwondo. You could
kickboxing.
headbutt and all these things.
Yeah.
But totally different from what it is
Kickboxing
now.
started off as a brilliant combination of kicking and boxing, and then it became wearing massive socks and leggings, you know, just like not touching
Yeah.
each other, you know, like
Bizarre.
billion kicks.
They've got those glittery trousers as
Yeah.
well. That's weird.
Have you seen Michael Venom Page when he was doing kickboxing?
I mean, I guess. I suppose then do you look at it and go, "Will it work? If it works for that guy?"
He's a special guy,
totally.
though.
Like if people get a lot more out of martial arts than
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
Apart from karate.
it's totally cool that people get into anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just that jiu-jitsu is the best.
No, but it literally is. I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, is there any other martial art?
Wrestling and boxing, I would say.
Yeah.
And judo's changed a lot recently here as well. There's a lot of
Judo,
you
I-
can attack the legs and stuff now.
From
right?
what
I
I've
think
heard,
they've
you can
changed the rules slightly, so
Aye.
you can.
I don't know if I'm probably talking shit here, but maybe they're bringing back grabbing the trousers.
Yeah, or the leg, like under the leg, to sort of like when
Yeah.
you're sort of trying to sweep someone, you weren't able to actually go for the leg with the arm. I think they brought
Right.
back that. We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
There's a few black belts at the gym that train, and it's terrifying, man.
Oh, I just sat down with those boys.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I am not standing up.
Once
with
they get a hold of your
flying.
colours,
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to like shite bag it and sit down, but at the same time, man, like you're just like the level difference is like I need to be doing this with somebody that's on my level in this situation. Like, I'm terrified of you,
It
man.
is scary. Yeah, yeah, man.
I mean, how does it work if you become a black belt in BJJ and you rock up to a judo center? Will they just put you in with black belts or blue belts?
Just teach the class. I
No.
think. You just go, you have at it. No, I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Because if you are a judo player and you have some
Yeah, you
sort of
can't
belt,
enter as a white belt, right?
you can't enter as a white
Yeah.
belt in a BJJ competition.
Blue belt.
Blue
you've got to
belt.
go in as-
Same for like MMA, I guess, or any kind of
If
thing.
you've done a
got-
pro MMA fight, you've got to go in as blue
Blue.
belt, man.
Have you ever had any interaction with people that are in your gym that want to do MMA? Like,
Nah.
or is it just purely BJJ at this point?
Well, because I've never offered
Hmm.
striking or that, and those people don't gravitate towards me.
But there's also the new BJJ rules where you can do the slapping. Is that
It's
right?
combat
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu and shit like that, yeah. Nah, that's not my style, man.
I don't fancy it.
It's just jiu-jitsu, but with like
Yeah.
palm striking.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
thought you
not-
meant sort of meant MMA.
The palm striking is not going to change the game. MMA changes the game.
Yeah.
You can hammer boys, but the palm striking, I feel like when I watch it, is people just like doing jiu-jitsu but putting up with having their air
Slapped in
scarred.
the
So but where were we before that?
I was talking about. I need a Brian Redband at this point to tell me
Judo.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
No, if you had thought about,
If I had people in that were wanting to do MMA,
or just
yeah.
even people coming to you that train in other things, and they were like, "I want to do the ground game."
Oh,
as
that
well.
have done MMA and that. Yeah, people. There's karate guys in that come in, judo guys that come in, but there's their person not got an MMA base.
Yeah, not
There's-
really.
There's nobody doing any. There's not like there's an MMA gym and people can be like, all right, I'm going to just go and try, do some pure jiu-jitsu up at Fair City Jiu Jitsu. It's not like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If they want to do MMA, they have to go to Dundee.
and it's traditionally a boxing town as well, so it's quite old school. Perth in that sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boxing schools in Perth.
There's a
There's
couple.
a lot of people.
There's
that
a couple.
Yeah.
I think people, to be honest with you, man, a lot of it, people hear about it from Joe Rogan. People have been listening to Joe Rogan for years and they finally see that Perth's got a jiu-jitsu place and they come in. They're coming in for the benefits that Joe Rogan explains, not that they want to be a
Is everyone
champion
from
fighter.
Perth predominantly for Fair City?
Yeah.
Do you have guys that bounce down from?
I thought you meant everyone in the world is from Perth. It's like, no.
No.
Originally, everybody's from Perth. Birthplace.
It's called the out of
the
Perth
motherland.
theory. It's not Africa anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
Although if you go to Perth, there's some few people that look like they've just came out of like
Did you used to live in
Magnet.
Perth? Did you live?
I've lived in many places.
Right.
Yeah.
And where do you rank Perth in all those places?
On a scale of 0 to wipe my arse with,
Whoa!
It's not that bad, man. It's not that bad. It's
it
not
used to
that
be
bad.
terrible. I went to college there, so I did 10 years. No, 10 years?
Wow,
that
that
would
sounds
be
like a
weird.
sentence now.
Yeah.
I was there 10 years. I was at the prison for 10 years.
Right.
No, I was there 10 years ago, and it just there was nothing there. Like a lot of the sort of
Quite a lot of live music, I thought, when I was
it did at that point, and then after I left, it just completely dive bombed.
I feel like now, since I started like running a business there, I'm so much more aware of a lot of the cool shit that's going on. And there is, I feel like, a lot more cool shit.
I think it's getting a lot better.
There's a lot of people in Perth that kind of blame the city on their problems. You know, they probably have a shite time, and a lot of people that don't like them, and they blame the city, and they blame the people in the city. But
You're probably going to get a massive uptick in tourists actually because of Outlaw King.
aye, totally. Yeah.
Did you see it?
No.
Have you seen Outlaw King?
No.
It's the Netflix. What do you do at
It
night?
mentions a village that I
I've
was
not
born
watched
in.
Netflix, clearly. No,
Yeah,
what's
he's
this?
making
Clue me up.
babies at night, man.
Yeah, man.
Chris. Oh yeah.
That's it.
We're watching
Should be doing
Netflix.
that as well. That's note to self.
Do the Netflix, I'll do the
Make
chill.
babies.
That's it.
Netflix and make babies.
Yeah. Very much.
It's basically Chris Pine, you know the guy that was in Star Trek? He played Captain
Yes.
Kirk. He is the Outlaw King.
Oh,
Robert
yes.
the
I've
Bruce.
seen this. I've only seen it because you shared. That's seen.
Robert the
So the
Bruce,
trailer
yeah.
for it, right.
But
yeah.
he talks about how he has to go to Scone
Is it a
Palace
bad
to get.
accent in it? Is it?
No, it's okay. It's pretty
Okay.
good. And then he talks about Perth and then Methven.
Methven,
as
yeah,
well.
totally. There was
But
an
the bad
ambush
guy,
there.
he said all the bad guys are in Methven, which I feel is quite correct for how Perth is now.
Okay.
Well, they got ambushed in Methven.
Yeah.
I tried to find I done research on it when I was younger, and I was trying to look about for like the actual location where they were ambushed and that. Obviously, the land's changed loads, but there is a kind of fair idea of where it happened. I just went out there and that, and I was like, holy shit! Like there could be like 6,000 dead people under this style. You know what I mean?
And that's before like all this stuff went down with people in a war and all this. This is just that. Oh,
Yeah, this is
you're not
just
talking about Methven. Oh,
The
sorry.
Battle of Methven is not a battle; it was an ambush.
I thought you were talking about just like people
What,
chipping each
6,000
other.
people
in
just
Methven.
got what? Slaughtered? Is that how it went down?
I like the English ambushed the Scottish, but there was a shitload of English dead as well. So I think they've estimated about 6,000 to 8,000.
This is one of the great things about Outlaw King is the tone of it as well. Like when you see the actual battles, there's always this question in history what that would look like when two armies come together and face off and then they run at each other. No one knows at that moment what actually happens in battles because that's one of the scariest points.
Yeah.
To be at the front of that.
Fuck.
You think people would just turn around and not be at the front. So how did it work? Like it wasn't just a case of like everyone randomly fighting one person.
Like probably chopping off the head of the guy next to you, just in panic, getting rid of
much
him.
slower.
Yeah.
Like you're coming towards me, and then there's like almost like a mutual
Here,
agreement.
you.
I'm coming for you. But and
You would have a focal point, but you're in a mob.
Run through each other.
Yeah.
We'd both run through each other, swords going through each other, or you just run blindly into a spear. Like I think it would be a lot more like we're running, right? We're slowing down. Who have I got? Two guys? Nah, no two guys.
It'd be like a square going the street, like you want it, hey, you want it.
Oh, scary thought.
Yeah, nah, it's totally it's incredible to think what like guys survived if they survived that.
And no one ever talked about PTSD. Not that it's
Nah.
not a thing, but
Nah.
like just to be back then, seeing all that. Just
Yeah.
you probably high off your tits all day long, drinking beer and all this, and going out and battling people.
Totally
It's
crazy.
insane,
Man.
like. But it's a good movie. Watch it.
Oh, I thought it was a series.
No.
Right, okay.
So
movie,
Netflix did it. Yeah.
It made me when I was watching that, I was thinking like even if you got like nicked by a blade in a massive battle, you're fucked. Gets infected, you're dead,
Tetanus.
man.
Yeah. No tetanus jabs back then.
Hospital.
No,
No hospitals.
couldn't brush your teeth. Probably die of that before you get nicked. Nothing.
Yeah.
That's why they say most people just drunk beer because all the water was polluted. There was no way of filtering it in different countries. They just drunk a lot of beer.
Beer and wine and shit.
Hell yeah.
No DMT in those days.
No.
Guys, man.
Have you seen? There was also the release of Black Mirror, the movie.
I've not watched it yet.
I'm so shit. I
Is
don't
this
know.
the multiple choice one?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
one. So you know the TV show Black Mirror.
It's so bad. No.
Okay.
John just goes MMA. That's it.
That's it.
He barely
MMA
knows
and
that.
babies.
That's gonna be like the prenatal classes. You're gonna be like, and this is John. And what do you know? Anyway, making babies.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Welcome on my podcast.
That's it. I know nothing else.
So
Clue me up.
basically, there's a guy called Charlie Brooker. Charlie Brooker. And he's a famous sort of journalist, was he?
Charlie Brooker. I know Charlie Brooker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's
he
like
made his
a-
own series called Black Mirror. And it's supposed to be a reflection of modern society and all this and that. And it's always sort of like, remember The Outer Limits? Remember that TV show? It was kind of like that, where it was like alternative universes from this time. Just slightly weird sort of, it could have happened, it might not happen, versions of this timeline.
Right.
And some of them are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I saw them talking about the movie and I was like, this is going to be fucking terrible. And I watched it because I was bored and I was like, this is amazing. they've done like a choose your own adventure movie with it. Remember the old books you get, and you could choose your own adventure. In
So
the
you
book.
would pick your,
So you'd go to
the,
page,
the path you would choose, would pick
and then
a
it'd be
certain
like,
ending.
yeah. If you want to finger a badger, go to page 4.
Fingering badgers, man. That should be the hashtag for this show.
I don't know. It's your hashtag. And yeah, like they've done that with the movie. So you actually.
So how does that work, man?
Well, I don't know how you watch it, but I watch it on my PS4. So I'll get like my controller will start to vibrate, and I'll ask you 2 questions, two answers, which
Right.
one you want to pick, and then there's like a time thing that comes in, like a clock. So you have to pick, and it'll pick for you either way. But
I got told today that if you don't pick, it goes back to the start.
oh well, that could be very annoying.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting with it on the
Fucking Groundhog
background.
Day. Just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
But it's
That's great.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The story's amazing though. It's got like it's about this guy who's a computer game designer in the 80s, so it's all the old school games, and he creates this amazing one that's based on a follow your own adventure game. So it's
Right.
quite like meta because you're choosing your own adventure as well as being in this.
Yeah, my brother was. I need to watch it, but my brother was saying that the character that you are navigating as remembers your past choices or some shit like that.
Oh.
Like he'll go like, you'll make a selection. You'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go this way because I've already seen that one.
Yeah.
And it remembers somehow.
That's creepy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
there
like
was
probably 8 hours of footage on it or something.
Oh yeah, there must be like filmed like multiple versions of it.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
If you've got different paths you got to go down. Yeah,
It's
of course.
crazy, like. But I feel like why haven't they already done? When I was watching it, I was like, of course they should have movies like this. I mean, they're quite frustrating to watch with someone. You don't want to get a punch up about what decision you're making, but yeah,
I mean, that would have to be the setup. Can you imagine that in the cinema? Like it's up to the debate now.
everyone sit on this side, everyone sit on that side.
Yeah.
Just run at each other. See who wins.
But I just thought, well, I thought they would have done this.
Yeah,
by now.
innovative though.
It
That's
just
a great
makes,
idea.
and it's so innovative. One of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror is the one with the Prime Minister. It's sort of like quite prophetic because the Prime Minister has fuck this pig live on national TV to get his daughter back.
Sounds familiar.
You know,
It's right up your street, John.
There you go. Why is it my street?
I mean, you could
Badgers and Fingram on my street.
if he made it now, you could probably get a choice of badgers and pigs.
Oh, that's good. Keep your options on.
But that if you're going to watch it, I won't tell you the ending, but it's an amazing episode.
Yeah. It's a crazy show, but the thing is, man, it makes me feel like shit. Like, it's amazing to watch because it's so, artistic and it's so clever. But I last season that came out, I just marathoned it, and by the end of it, I was like, shit, man,
You just feel
I don't
like
want to get in my fucking bed.
world's
We're doomed.
ending.
We're doomed. It's all like future technology and how that's going to fuck up our lives, pretty much.
The one
Most
one
of
of the most recent ones I liked is the one where you can sort of choose, like how you can pair up with someone, and then you get like an allotted amount of time together, and it tells you how long you're gonna like last together on the little remote
the
controls.
simulation one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but this couple keep meeting over and over and over again. Like they don't know, like they're just so attracted to each other, even though the system and the machine says like they're not meant to be together.
Right.
And they're all getting together on the basis of this machine. So it's like, oh, you're going to live forever together or whatever. You'll be like, well, I'm going to stay with you. But the machine keeps like telling them, oh, no, don't stay together. And then,
Do not stay together.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like that.
it's really good.
That was my
That's
robot
not
laugh.
It's like Stephen Hawking evolved.
2.0. Good say. Yeah, are the robots, are the machines going to take over, do you think? Skynet going live?
Man,
at
I
some
don't know.
point?
Shit's moving fast away.
So fast, right?
Like
The most
sometimes when I see it,
mind-blowing episode I've ever listened on about this is the recent one with Joe Rogan, and there's the guy that is AI and blockchain because they're tied together somehow, and you're able to regulate both through blockchain and AI.
You know what's blockchain?
So it's the process of doing a cryptocurrency is the way of sort of initiating and doing the transactions and sort of having like a ledger of all the ones that have followed it, like using that Bitcoin. It's very complicated. Like I still don't understand it. Like, but they're thinking those things could be all cut in half and sort of minimalized if you use AI to do it.
yeah, there's a show called Liquid Science on Netflix. The RZA from Wu-Tang.
No way.
Yeah, just
That's
goes
amazing.
around exploring like future technology things. It's a bit cheesy in that, but there's this one where he's like life after death, right? And he goes to see this fucking AI robot, right? And it's not fucking great, right? But you look at it and you go, 10 years from now,
The potential's there. Right?
that's going to be fucking terrifying because it's already like, he's like, oh yeah, are you going to be nice to humans? And she's like, yes, I think so. Like, fuck man, they're already getting ideas. You can't even walk yet. Fuck man. Yeah, it's pretty scary, but I'm really excited to see what happens because some cool shit. Do you know what I'm excited for in our lives? A land on Mars. A human's landing on Mars. Yeah.
I'm just not that thrilled by
I'm
it.
keen on that shit. No.
I mean, it is amazing the technology that goes into it, and anytime that you make something like that, like a promise to the world, and then the innovation that goes behind trying to get to that date, you know, is amazing. But I don't know, it just does nothing for me.
Who's your man at Elon Musk? He's doing the underground cars now. That's his thing.
Yeah, smash them together.
Is that how he's doing it? Yeah.
He's just basically making a hadron collider and just putting cars in it. So he
that's
smashed
true.
Do you think it'll happen though?
It's a big Hot Wheels thing. Man, I think he's going to be able to do some mad shit. Like, I don't know. I don't think he's like necessarily a great guy, but I think he's going to be doing great things.
Yeah.
He's already doing. Have you seen this? The self-landing boosters.
Yeah, was it something X? What's it called?
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
Man, they because like basically when they launch stuff into space, it takes so much energy, and the boosters pretty much just fall off, and they're floating in space, right, in the orbit or whatever. And there's basically this massive field of space shit round our planet, right? And eventually,
Looking Wally.
Literal and
Yes.
figurative space shit.
space shit, right? And if we keep going the way we are, we're not going to be able to travel into space because there's so much junk.
I've blocked it out.
Yeah.
Surely not. How much
Well,
space shit
this
is there?
shit's traveling at like 27,000 miles an hour. So when it hits
Anything.
other thing,
Yeah.
it splinters and it doesn't. They don't call it like a.
It shatters
collision,
into
it's
more
like
pieces.
splash.
Right.
Yeah. So then you've got like.
It's like a buckshot.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so
so it makes
every
it
time there's an
possible.
impact, you're making it worse.
Yeah.
You're adding to the problem.
Plus, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So they've made reusable boosters, right? These boosters take this rocket up into just past orbit, right? They fall off, they come back down, man, and they're falling.
It's just
right? They
raining
arrange
rockets,
themselves.
space shit.
Eh?
It's going to be raining space shit. Is that what you're going to
No,
tell me?
they're self.
These
Like,
boosters detach, right? And they come back down, they stabilize themselves, and they fucking land themselves like simultaneously, like
It's
fucking
amazing to
Iron
watch.
Man. Iron Man shit.
Wow.
but if he had his legs like really far apart,
If Iron Man was a hole,
but
Yeah,
they do it on like a platform in the middle of the ocean.
Aye.
So they land them on these sort of moving jettison sort of bowies out in the middle of
Yeah.
wherever.
it's incredible.
It's
This seems
amazing.
like a lot of money though.
But I'm of the opinion, and I was discussing this the other night, I just think interstellar travel's not going to work. It's not going to happen. The distances are just so large.
But we would have said that about trains moving too fast back in the day.
Well, no one had the idea about trains though. Like, I think teleportation, like a Stargate thing, will just cut out all that together. I just,
Oh, a Stargate thing.
yeah, like totally. Like, I mean, I just don't. Even if you move at the speed of light, you're still going to have to be traveling for billions of years.
Yeah.
And then that makes it rough on people who
Yeah.
like you're going to have to leave to go on this billion-year journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, that's pointless. And if you had a Stargate, that would be instantaneous travel.
Yeah.
And where are you going to travel to? Somewhere else far away that's also got nothing.
Well, if
Yeah,
it was now, you could go to the doctors and be like, all right, doc, is she popped yet?
Shit, that would be fucking amazing.
Game and old
There's like
fucking-
a little window here, you just stick your head.
keep breathing, honey.
Don't fall asleep in that bath now. What happened last time? Yeah. I don't know. It is moving so fast though. Like we've still got kind of desktop computers where I work in teaching primary schools, and I'll have like, especially the younger ones that are touching the screen, and they're like, oh, this is broken, because now all they recognise is
That's crazy
touchscreen.
shit.
And I'm talking like primary one, like what's that?
So they're
5?
touching like an old computer screen,
Yeah.
and don't have the sort of ability to know.
Totally bypassing that there's a keyboard and a mouse in
my
front of you.
God.
Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Don't recognise that at all. And I'm looking at that going, are these things really out of date? And then I'm like, well, of course, to this child's short life,
Yeah.
of course it is. This is vinyl. This is, whatever. This is technology of the
Yeah.
olden days to them.
We're
so.
definitely that generation that has lived before the internet, and that's we're going to be.
And not just that, the social media. I mean, social media was it has been a wee bit longer, but the impact of it, especially recently, is just.
But we're going to be a dying breed. Like when we get to old age and die, like we'll be the last people that live without internet.
I remember the day
before the internet. Holy shit!
Wow.
Like that's like fuck, man. Like all this
can't imagine.
Amazon, YouTube, Joe Rogan.
Listen to your favourites.
I don't know, man. It's so hard. Even though I was around, I was pretty young, but even though I was around, man, I fucking can't imagine a world without shit.
It's kind of strange for me. Like, how old are you, John?
34.
Okay, so you are a little bit older than me, and so you would have remembered it more comprehensively. But for me, like when I was growing up with it, it felt like I was. You know, when you grow up and start to become aware of things, like I didn't know whether it was coinciding with actually just things becoming better. Like I don't have an idea of that really. It just feels like I was able to understand things better as I got older. I wasn't seeing that things were generally just getting better.
What with the phone? You must have realised the advancement in playing Snake to
3310.
Right? Yeah, exactly, right.
There's a lot of fucking paranormal activity that went into fucking the 3310. It's like Meow Meow, Milner, the hammer, Thor's hammer. You never seen that?
Yeah, the fact that they're indestructible.
Yeah. There's some like black magic in those.
Netflix again.
Unbreakable, man.
Anyway, actually, we're coming towards the end of the show. Yeah.
How long we done?
We've done like 30 minutes.
Huh.
I'm joking.
Felt like 31.
No, it's like coming up for 2 hours actually.
Wow.
Is that high? Holy shit.
And thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Usually when I have someone else that's not been on for this, I ask like some questions, even though John's here, so you can sort of not answer. So just like quick fire ones, like your favorite book.
Yeah. Shit, I'm not a reader, dude. I'm not a reader, but I have been reading that Sleep one, the Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep.
Right. Okay. And what's that about? Just to give some people an idea.
It's like about how we need to get way more sleep than we think, or we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. It just explains sleep in a kind of scientific but understandable way. Yeah. It's cool.
It's still a massive unknown though in the world.
Yeah,
like, people don't know why you sleep.
Yeah.
Even though we know what happens if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite movie?
Oh God, man, that's crazy. That's a hard question, though. Eh?
It's hard, isn't it?
Favorite film?
Could be one you've seen recently or of all time.
Just trying to think of like the one I've watched the most. Man, I don't know.
Come on, you want to say it?
Fight Club. Because I'm white.
Because you're male.
Do you know what, man? I don't know what my favourite film is, but one film I do love is The Martian.
Yeah.
I love The Martian.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good film. I don't know what my favourite film is.
Did I just offend you by saying that I don't really want to go to like Mars? And you were like really invested in this movie.
Favorite movie of all time.
I watch The Martian every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck, man. That's a really difficult one because when I think about it, every film that comes to my mind is shit.
But it's all relative. Like if you like it, then
yeah. Nah, fuck it. I don't know about this film. There's too many films. I've watched way too many films.
And favorite album or piece of music you've been?
Let's go Nas Illmatic.
Really?
Yeah.
And why?
I've just had it in my life for so long, and I can revisit it whenever I want. Right. Like it's always re-listenable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like solid. And I don't have many things like that in my life. It's so hard nowadays, especially like when you've got access to everything. You find something that doesn't fit. It's really nice to find one thing that just fits, and you can always revisit it. And
like play it, yeah. Yeah, it's so weird when you can just download anything at any point. Sometimes you get a bit like, oh, what the fuck did I watch or listen to? And you just end up not watching anything or something you've watched already. Favorite quote?
Oh, Jesus.
When people ask me this, I'm like, live
young, tattoo? No.
Live young, die old.
Favorite quote?
Or something
from The Martian.
Yeah.
It's Matt Damon's most famous line in that.
Matt Damon.
Probably that. That's it. I don't know a quote. I like the old standard. Hard work beats talent, or when talent doesn't work, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that is a good one. Do you know who said it? Or it's just like a
Probably
circling.
Hitler or something.
At the
You were
Berlin Games.
correct.
Knowing my work is probably Hitler.
Paul Potts. Yeah, that's great, man. And if you've got like anything you want to plug,
Just
individually?
if anybody from Perth is listening, I've got a gym, a jiu-jitsu
Well,
gym.
not even just Perth. Like if you're in Scotland, it's a brilliant gym.
Aye, yeah.
It's one that you just have to go to.
Yeah, I've had loads of visitors from all over the world. So if anybody ever finds himself in Perth, Fair City Jiu Jitsu. That's
And
the
where
one.
can they find it on social meds?
Instagram and Facebook or faircityjiujitsu.com.
You're not on the Twitter.
Not on the Twitter, man.
Nobody really does it
Nah.
for gyms.
Twitter for me is like old school technology.
Does that mean show my
Smokes.
34 age now when I'm on the
Nah,
Twitter?
I don't know.
I can't take that. I've tried. So
I'm really
hard.
trying, but
I'm trying.
Aye, I know it's a hard. It seems more. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems more that it's bigger in America than it is here.
Maybe I always feel like it's for the chosen few. It's to follow the chosen few. A normal person can't really be on Twitter and seriously tweet.
Yeah, like all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I don't have the Twitter app on one of my phones. I've got two phones. One's a burner.
Right.
I'm selling dreams. But yeah, one of them doesn't have it, and I'm just like, how the fuck are you even supposed to be on it all the time if you don't have the app? It's
Right.
like, yeah. So it's not for me.
Nah.
What yourself, John?
Tomorrow night, man.
Yep, the big one,
The big one, the MMA awards.
and it won't be live, will it? This time?
I think if there's a bump in the middle of the night and some crying
Okay.
of a newborn baby, then probably not worth risking a live show.
Is that how you describe depression?
Yes.
There's a bump. So
Crying
much.
like a baby. But yeah, MMA awards show will be tomorrow. It'll go out that night. We just don't want to. We'll do it live-ish. We'll say.
Right.
We'll have yourself on. So many, man.
Yeah, there's a big cast.
Do you just get like a conference kind of thing on the go?
We usually do. I'll host and I'll have like 3 guys on and rotate each time.
How do you do it? Like through
So we do
Skype?
Skype. So just do
Okay.
like a big Skype call.
Do you use like a separate app to get everyone to sort of, or is it just Skype?
No, man. I just lump all the people in, and if it overloads, then
Okay.
fuck, just do it anyway.
There's a few times it's been
But
like,
yeah, is he still there? And then I'm speaking like a robot. Oh shit, his laptop's playing up again. But yeah, man, we'll have yourself on. We've got Kevin Jones in the main event, Victor Vargas, Juice MMA, Fight Talk Scotland's Don Wilson's. Oh, there's so many, man. There's about 10 of us on for
I
this
think
one.
I'll tune into that one.
It's
man.
going to be awesome.
I'm interested in Fight of the Year.
We're going to do Fight of the Year, Finish of the Year. I usually do Fight and Fighter of the Year, but I thought we'll just mix up with Finish because there's been a lot of good finishes. Plus, I wanted to put Bear Jew in there just for that last minute.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's got to be mentioned, man.
It's like
Bear Jew.
Paul Craig was getting it down for 3 rounds, and when 1 second to go, just pulled a triangle
Oh, the
right in his
triangle.
arse.
Okay, yeah.
It's a
Sucked the
beautiful,
guy.
like,
I've seen
It
it.
was amazing, man.
like if
Shout
that
out
guy
to Bear Jew.
hadn't have tapped,
Yeah,
like
he was
just
undefeated as well.
if he had
in
just
that
like
fight.
left it for another couple of seconds.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
He would have
second.
won.
God.
Yeah.
But that looks like shit.
I know.
though.
People were giving that guy shit for it, like you should have just passed out in the fight. But I mean,
But would he have won
the
or
squeeze
lost?
that Paul's got,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
made the difference.
That's one of the. I think when I had him on, I talked about the triangle a little bit.
Did he squeeze you?
You got me in it while I was trying to speak to him. I was like, and I was like, how come you've got such a slick triangle? Because he just throws it up and it was on.
Yeah.
Like it must have been a crush as opposed to an actual like a you're passing out in your blood. It must have been like actual raw power in
Yeah.
his legs. It's a
Like, he's so
beautiful
strong,
one.
man. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine when a man is in the UFC and he's trying to win, it's a much harder squeeze than you've ever felt before, really. Because more on the line, eh?
Well, especially with that one. I mean, that was the last fight in his contract. So if you don't win that, see ya.
Yeah,
Was he still in?
He had to. Yeah,
That fight got him another
4
deal.
fights. Was
Yeah.
it 4 fights?
I think it was, yeah.
He got bonus as well. He got
Big bonus of the night. Went to Disneyland
That's
with the kids.
cool.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
man.
Okay.
What a great story.
No,
So yeah, going to do Finish of the Year, Fight of the Year, and then who had the year to forget? Johnny Bones Jones again.
Can I just have a little preview of what you think would be a fight of the year
So there's a couple that I've got in mind for Fight of the Year.
for you personally?
For me, I would probably say, it's hard. I think for Fight of the Year, I think would be Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, because it's the one fight that I keep putting on when there's nothing else on. Or if there's a fight gets boring,
I'm the same.
sometimes I'll flick back to, what was a fight that I
not
liked
seen
recently? Great fight, man. Anthony Pettis, for a while, had just been got gone missing since he lost the title, and then in the last year, maybe 18 months, he got his mojo back. Well, a lot of people do say that, man. Yeah, man.
Is that the one where they were like kind of both really playful and kind of bouncing off the cage and shit? Yeah, that's
cartwheel kicks and
it was Tony Ferguson's first fight back,
and he got
after
knocked
blowing
down
at his
in
knee.
yeah, that's the thing. What, like 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, 6 months after blowing at his fucking knee and having massive surgery. Like the scar on his leg is unbelievable.
And Pettis was opening up with leg kicks, as you would imagine. Like, it's a bullseye on your leg, so why not just?
It was a brilliant fight.
And he got knocked down, and then just gutted it out, man, and just went after him. And
what UFC was that? Because
that was a co-main Conor McGregor and Khabib. That was the fight before it.
Oh shit!
So yeah, that was an amazing fight.
Yeah, I need to watch.
So that's the one I always go back to. But a lot of people are saying the Korean Zombie and what was the one with the elbow?
But he'd done the upward elbow.
Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
I think that one was probably more the finish than a fight.
Yeah, that was a finish than the actual fight.
Yeah, the fight itself over the 5 rounds was it was good, but fight of the year for me probably not. The other one that gets mentioned because he's a wild man is Gaethje, and it was Gaethje and who did he fight this year? Poirier. That was the one. Yeah, the two of them
was a good fight.
were back and forth. I think Poirier got the finish, I want to say. So those are the ones that people have hit me up with. But yeah, for me the one is Pettis. Check it out, man. Pettis and Ferguson. For finish, obviously Berdew, probably that elbow. Rodriguez. I'm trying to think of another finish that sticks out. Nothing comes to mind, man. But year to forget. I mean, maybe McGregor, you could argue, has a year to forget, but it's got to be Bones Jones. Unless, of course, he does the business tonight.
Well, we got to see. I mean, who's your pick for tonight, Jones?
I think it's got to be Jones, isn't it? It's got to be.
He's the best.
Yeah. He's never been beaten for that reason. It's where it's pictograms or picograms, whatever the fuck he's got in his system.
Pixtagram, right here, www.pixtagram.com.
Pixtagram.net.
GeoCities.
Yeah, man. I'll go with Jones.
Okay.
I'll go with Jones.
What about yourself?
Jones, for sure. Like, I really enjoyed the last time they fought. They've only fought once, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that fight. That was a close fight, though, eh?
Very close.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought Gus might have won it.
Yeah, I think I was there at the time as well. Like, I thought kind of like it looked more on his favour, but the champ gets it in those situations, eh? But yeah, I don't know. I think Jon Jones is just on another level. Yeah. It might, but then it might all be over tonight. So
yeah, he might just been out far too long at an age where it's going to affect him now in his fights. And maybe he's truly clean if he was on something, so that means he's going to be. It might affect.
What about Cyborg and that? What's the picks for that?
That is a tasty.
Yeah, we probably should do that actually. Cyborg all the way.
See, I want to say Amanda, but I think Cyborg wins.
It's exactly what you said.
I really like Amanda Nunes' personality. I think she's a cool cat, but Cyborg.
When that first strike lands, that's when we know exactly like you said, man.
It doesn't even need to be a good strike.
I want to
make contact and let's see how she holds up.
I want to make a sort of prediction on the actual how both fights turn out because it's usually the same way. I think the Nunes and Cyborg fight's going to be amazing, and it might be like a fucking awesome back and forward. And I think the Jon Jones Gus fight's going to be not that great.
You don't think it'll live up? It's got the first fight to live up to, though. That's the thing, isn't it? And often the case.
And they're both been off for a long time as well.
Yeah.
If Jones wins tonight,
he's going to partying.
Who's going to have the worst year? Who's going to have a year to forget?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean,
Conor's probably made a lot of money.
So it's not that bad a year then, right?
Probably doesn't really want to forget that much. He launched his whiskey.
I love watching whiskey reviews of his whiskey and they're just like,
it's fucking shit. Is it just people giving it shit because it's terrible? Have you tried it?
No, but I've watched a lot of like professional YouTube channels who review whiskies.
Okay.
And they're just like,
I imagine it just to taste like Jameson's or something.
Well, they were saying it tastes really young. There's no flavour to it. And it's just
proper 12.
They obviously rushed it out.
Oh, yeah. Don't think you can get it here, though, right?
Fuck knows.
You can't rush whiskey.
Bloody EU.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I would go with Jones. Probably finish, I think.
Cool.
That main event.
That'd be cool, man.
I think that's
Imagine Amanda Nunes finishes Cyborg.
I think it's going to be a great back and forward.
Yeah.
You might even get a new finish of the year tonight.
That's true, man. Because when we put it out, it was like, fight of the year, but I had to keep,
that one
with so far. Yeah. Whatever, blah, 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 so far. There's something else, though, on that fight. On that card, rather.
There's Condit and Chad Mendes.
Is it Volkanovski? Is that the boy? I'm sure he's Australian.
Ngannou's fighting. Arlovsky's fighting.
Ngannou's fight?
Yeah. No. Zingano, sorry.
Kat Zingano.
Yeah.
Oh, Kat Zingano, yeah.
That's going to be an amazing
Who's she
fight.
fighting?
Oh,
She's
fighting
fighting
that big
Anderson.
lassie, yeah.
The big lassie.
She's big though.
Just totally.
She does look like she would tower above me, like, for sure.
Yeah. And she'll be going up in weight, Zingano, for that. I imagine she'll be going up featherweight.
Yeah.
No, BJ Penn's fighting on this, and I don't know.
Yeah, he's fighting
why.
Ryan Hall.
BJ Penn,
Holy
Ryan Hall.
shit.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
That's going to be a great fight.
Is it going to be a jiu-jitsu?
I have no
contest?
idea how it's going to be. That's what I was
Ryan, the I Have Autism Hall.
Yeah.
BJ, I should stop fighting.
God,
Penn.
a long time
10
ago.
years
When was
ago.
when was the last time he won a
Remember
fight?
when he fought Rory McDonald?
Oh,
Jesus
oh,
Yeah, that
Christ.
was terrible.
That's when he should have stopped.
Yeah.
But Ryan Hall, BJ Penn, it would be cool if they just agree to grapple.
and Hall's been out a while.
They both pull guard
I
right.
think
Yeah.
he's been secretly like just working.
I don't think he's stupid, Hall. He's a very
Working.
clever guy. Like,
Yeah. He's working all the things he needs to work.
Yeah.
I mean, when did he
He
win?
trains
the
at who's your man in Toronto? Vrasa Habi.
Oh yeah, but
He trains at
Yeah.
in
TriStar.
Montreal. Yeah.
And BJ Penn's been training in the gi. Fucking good luck with
course.
that, mate.
I'll have the blah. Oh, I might beep that out on the show actually. Every time you say "gee,"
Gi and finger badger. That's the two.
Just leave it up to the listeners to decide what I was saying.
that's it. The listeners are listening. Then you know what is the hashtag for this episode.
Honestly, I have no idea why you would train in the gi for an MMA fight. No idea. I think BJ Penn should come back to jiu-jitsu, and so should Ryan Hall.
I think he's done these things where he's went and did things that have been complete opposite from his first training camps, and I think he feels like that was the good parts of his progression.
All right.
But it wasn't, and I think he thinks just training in the gi will help him somehow
Yeah.
because he's doing something different and he might catch somebody unaware.
Yeah.
Because remember, he changed up his strength and conditioning guys, then he changed the sort of boxing as well, and then moved camps and all these things, and then had Dolce doing his diet. Remember, and they fell out as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be a stressful thing trying to get the right people around you, and especially when you
Same as
lost
life.
it 10 years ago.
Well, that's
Same
the
as
thing.
life.
He had all the success, and then nothing for a long time, and it seems like he's trying to just get that back. And other times saying no.
But what does he think? Like, does he think he can...
People are telling me that it's just because he needs the money.
Right.
And I don't know. I find that hard to believe. He
Sometimes
must
I
have
think,
money in the
like,
bank.
Well, he's got
It can't be that scary.
bjpen.com, which is a huge sort of terrible website that gives you
Yeah, it's
sort of
fucking
half
terrible.
fixed stories.
So much clickbait, right?
It just collects information and punts it out. Nobody actually writes that shit.
It's like the Scott Rail version of like the MMA journalist world. You know, it's just terrible. You can't even navigate it, and it doesn't even want to tell you what time your trains are or whatever, or the fights or anything. Like,
I don't get their legends coming back. Like, even like hoisting that, like, it can't be for the money. Like, you've got, surely there's so many cool things you could do being in BJ Penn. Like, he's close to that Ruka brand, RVCA.
yeah,
Like, he's tight with them. Like, he could do some pretty cool
Just put
shit.
his face on something,
else
yeah.
other than like Hoist Gracie made himself like a tit. Like, after having that
Hughes fight.
legacy,
Yeah.
getting everybody
horrible.
into jiu-jitsu, launching jiu-jitsu in such a big way,
Yeah.
and now like fighting Ken Shamrock, and you're both getting busted for roids.
Yeah.
You're 60-year-olds in Bellator.
Oh God, I forgot about that. That's right. I was thinking just the Hughes fight. Oh yeah, that was
that was a
horrible.
terrible fight. as
Yeah,
well.
that was the Bellator one, right?
when he fought Hughes.
yeah,
Did you see
they
that
thought
one?
it was a work. Oh no, the Ken Shamrock one.
Yeah.
They thought it was a work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Did Matt Hughes not submit Hoist Gracie?
Rear naked
Yeah.
choke. He said
He had him in an armbar for
Hoist's
5 minutes.
argument was he used Gracie's jiu-jitsu. That's how he won the fight.
He had him in an armbar for
No, I
20
think he
minutes.
just started doing it. Yeah, he should never have came back.
Anyway, you didn't tell us your the website to go to watch and listen to the podcast.
Just go to Facebook. I'm terrible at promoting this shit. Go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, Twitter @martial arts chat, iTunes. Just search for the little thing that looks like a.
Microphone?
Yeah, it's a kind of. What's his name? Mr. Potato Head with a ninja outfit on. That's what I said to the guy when he was designing. He was like, "What is it you're looking for?" And I was like, "Well, you know him, Mr. Potato Head." Yeah, I was like, "Slap a gi on him, and I think we're good to go." And
Was
that
it on Fiverr by any chance?
No, I think. Did you know? I think he did stuff for the guy.
The guy that did my T-shirt
think
design.
so, yeah.
Okay. Which is available at all good
you go.
shops.
Anyway,
Good shots.
Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you, man.
It's great, man. And anybody listening, I thank you for listening, obviously. And I will see you next week.